Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. We were like here, and we were like, we're gonna be early, we're gonna be on time, and we were watching the clock on my computer, and then I was like, oh, you know what I just remembered? My computer clock got off somehow, and it's like 2-3 minutes behind as we've been patiently waiting here for 5 minutes. What's up, y'all?
What's up, y'all? We're gonna troubleshoot Jack's clock at some point.
Oh, fun live stream.
That would be cool.
Troubleshooting my clock
Get into
preferences.
your system preferences. It's also surreal to be in here and seeing the delay of our video.
Yes.
That can
I
interplay
hide
in some way.
this because it freaks me out too much.
I'm gonna do a high five to the camera. This is just for me. I'm gonna do a high five to the camera like that, and then
when
now I
you
get
see
to
it
high
here,
five
you'll
myself.
high five it back.
Wait, it'll happen so we know the full delay.
Yeah, good.
So the
You're
high five
seeing
still
the
hasn't
latency
happened.
here, chat.
Yeah.
So know later when we're doing stuff. That's what's the delay.
Still haven't. And there's the.
High
There
five!
we go.
You
So
did
that's
nail
the
that.
That felt really good.
You nailed
That
that.
felt really good.
Hello! What's up, Charlie? What's up, Jordan? Tempestware, Lel12, Jose,
Chris Barmonde.
Ramirez Art Jam, Other Disappointment.
Otter disappointment.
Otter disappointment.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the otter disappointment.
How can otters disappoint, though? Honestly, I think about otters, I'm like, I think they're the cutest animal in the
Too cute all
world,
the
right?
time. Elijah, Dusk Before Dawn, Daniel Cooper, Isra, Sokka's Bangarang, Tabaluga Dragon,
Jose, hello?
King Kron. What's up, all? What's up, all? It's about a 30-second delay, it seems like. Yeah.
So we're in the future. We'll tell you what stocks to buy.
Yes. Also, very fun thought experiment there, Ramirez Art Jam. What if you never saw the high five? What would we think? What would we think the reality that we're currently living in is?
With how much my reality has been flipped upside down over the course of this year, I feel like I'm like double, triple flips of the pancake. It would surprise me, but then I'd be like, I don't know, and then just probably put it all under the same rug of like, what a year, right? Here's what I'll say. This is not an ad. I've never had Topo Chico before. And I'm having a couple sips of it. A lot of hype around Topo Chico. Love it. But I was thinking like, oh, there's like a flavor. There's like and I get that there's probably ones that have lime and stuff.
That
to
happens
them,
as well, yeah.
But just it's a great mineral water.
I'm having a red stripe. What's up, Carter? Harold, Jimmy the Third, Eli, Brian, Shane, Alejandro, Isaac. What's up, all? Look, it's the high production quality boys. Thanks, Cheese Bees.
Doing our best to try and bring some of that high production quality to our live stream.
Not in the webcam. The webcam is just the built-in webcam of a MacBook Pro from 4 years ago.
But I did bring a new webcam that
Chris
I bought.
bought
It's like
bought a
4K,
nice one, 4K.
real nice one.
And
I couldn't plug it in.
I was out of USB ports because I got an external monitor and this microphone and all of these tricks.
I also realized I'm kind of talking more to myself in this side monitor when I should be talking here.
This is the camera.
Where we should be.
Yeah, I can
saying
move
hi to
the
folks.
chat over here too if that puts us, better for now.
Hi everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope this is going to be fun for y'all. I think this is going to be really fun. We're going to try
I'm
to
confident
outline.
it's going to be us for today. Fun for us.
Yes.
Oh boy, I messed that up.
We'll edit that.
Hey, what's up, Ramirez Art Jam? Thank you for the
First person to
in super chat.
tip
Amazing.
on a chat. And we agree. We cannot wait for July 6th Park. Hopefully, obviously, now is the time to get your preparations.
Yeah,
in order.
get your party planned. I assume get vaccinated for that reason, if no other.
Yep. We encourage all of you to go to Ramirez Art Jam's party. I'm assuming, obviously, Ramirez,
Everyone's
you have
invited.
everybody's invited, and
Yeah.
you can put the invite and location.
I would
pin
assume.
in
I
the
would
chat.
assume.
That'd be awesome.
I want to real quick ask. Multiple people have told us to please hit record. I think we did last time, right? Just want to clarify to make sure we're not screwing something major up there. I think we did.
Yeah, it feels well. I think that as we understand it, the video can still be played retroactively, but I guess I'm wondering if like we need to like make it public or something. But presumably that the video, if you miss the live stream, still is up.
Yeah.
I think there may be even like as a live stream tab, like on our videos page or something, you can click to see the streams page.
Oh,
Maybe
it's a
tab.
separate.
It's a separate
stream.
tab.
All right. Well,
But-
find it. It's in there.
Yeah.
But it's summer, y'all. It's about to be summer.
Speaking of very summer attire
Thank you.
and very blockbuster attire.
Yeah, I brought the summer. Chris bought the blockbuster.
I'm gonna put a blockbustery movie jacket on.
Great. Wear a jacket in this booth and sweat through your Topo Chico. Hit record. Okay. I think we did. July 6th Park Party at the Dairy Queen in Toronto. Be there. And we're begging you to also be square. Is it going to be at the Science Center again? Maybe. That sounds fun. I can watch last stream. Okay, great. You did? I rewatched. Okay, great. Great.
Jack brought the summer.
Oh!
I brought the blockbuster. This looks more like I think this is like NASCAR. I think I'm like in a kind of a more of a.
But
that
Ford
also,
versus Ferrari was a kind of a summer blockbuster.
That's kind of maybe a summer release.
And there was wasn't there that Chris Hemsworth? He had like a NASCAR Rush. I never saw that.
Was great.
Hey, thanks, Smiley Kyle. This is fun.
This is great.
We threw that on there not really knowing what would happen.
Oh, and we got a boss flex.
Hey, thanks, Dynasty. This is cool.
This is insane. We can't believe. Well, that's very kind of you to say about the 100K. We can't believe we've gotten there, to be honest, but very thankful that that's the case.
We'll try to keep building.
And we're gonna keep building.
One of our thoughts was maybe we should just be more present sometimes when we're not releasing sketches. So we were like, what if we did a live stream once a month? What if?
What if?
What if it's happening right now?
Can I point out just a real quick before we dive in? We got some fun stuff we're going to do, right? But I do want to point out there's something interesting that I'm curious about with this jacket. Okay? It's an older jacket. I think it was my dad's jacket. It's got like a nice smooth feeling to it.
Mm-hmm.
No pockets in the front.
Fake pockets?
No, none. But pockets. Zipper pockets in the back.
You seen this?
What's this all about?
You seen this?
What is that?
Are you guys seeing this?
What is it?
Are you guys seeing this?
What is it? And zipper.
What is that?
and it's like really, really hard to like.
You're not gonna like
navigate it.
you don't put a wallet back there.
Yeah, it's like I come into
That's
the. Yeah,
cumbersome.
It's like yeah, you guys need to see some ID. Let me just. Sorry, just one. God, if you could just help with the.
Yeah.
It's around the. I love the place, by the way. It's cool.
Me.
But, well, you
Good
just
touch,
like
man.
I'm just kind of one of those. Sorry, but yeah, cool bar.
Get out of line.
Fun, right? Fun, right?
That's a great jacket. That's an excellent jacket. Couple things I want to catch up on. Zach Perry, been waiting for more videos. We're going to make some soon. We've been waiting, because of the quarantine. And also, we've been, we did a big Kickstarter, made all of the sketches that we possibly could, wringing all that Kickstarter money dry. And now we're rebuilding the funds through Patreon. So we're currently building back up the budget for some new sketches. So if you'd like to help that process along, check out Patreon. We've got a lot of content on our Patreon right now, including a bi-weekly, the definition of bi-weekly where it's every 2 weeks, which is the sucky version of it. But at every other week, podcast that we're doing now that we've just launched. Second episode dropped today.
In that second episode, too, well, the premise is that we try out a new podcast pilot every time. The idea is that we're still in real. The premise is searching for our podcast.
Yeah.
So both Jack and I bring a new idea to put the other kind of on the spot to try out in earnest a new style of podcast. And this last one, close to my heart, we did a deep dive into the movie The Phantom,
which is not
probably
necessarily
not
worth a rewatch. But it would, if you wanted to enjoy this podcast with us, we promise to make fun of it a lot.
But then we also do a fully half-hour improvised narrative podcast, complete with some sound effects and
was very
goodies.
silly
It was
and
very fun.
F Life, thank you very much. Brightanic, you're back.
It's us.
Appreciate it.
We are here again.
Chris Barmonde, thank you so much. Otter disappointment. The otter is the one who's disappointed. It's an easy mistake to make. Love your content. Can't wait to relive today over and over again. Thank you so much, Otter disappointment.
This is going to be the Groundhog Day of live streams. Guaranteed.
Dust Before Dawn loved the July 6th Park sketches the most. Then you're in luck, Dust Before Dawn. We definitely got one of them coming soon.
To be, no spoilers, but also, watch out.
Keep an eye out.
Because
Space
if you couldn't tell, we're back in the same proximity. We're able to be in the same spaces again. It's kind of wild.
It's very wild.
It's cool.
So we're gonna shoot one of those. We're gonna release one of those to you. Jacket has great potential to be an Akira jacket. Love that. What's the podcast name? The podcast is called Chris and Jack's pilot podcast, the podcast. It is currently only
Podcast pilots.
Oh, man.
The podcast.
I've never said it right.
But that's
Chris
why I'm
and
here.
Jack's podcast pilots, the podcast. It's currently only available through Patreon. There may, at some point in the future, be an idea to release the back catalog on other podcast platforms, but right now it is exclusively for our patrons. So check that out if you're interested. How long are you going to pretend that this summer blockbuster movie isn't Chris's vision for a new Jurassic World movie? We'll see if we can sneak at least the first act by you.
Yeah. We're good at pretending for now. We'll see how many Topo Chicos I get in.
Speaking of, hold on, chat. I'm going to crack another beer.
Love that.
We're getting the summer party started.
Jack
By the
made
way, it's about to be summer, right? Legally? It's going to be summer in...
I'd say that, yeah,
on the 20th or 21st?
law will state soon
Yeah.
that it has to be summer.
So
yes.
that's why we're welcoming you into summer with our summer blockbuster podcast and these
Bomber
shirts.
jackets with cool pockets. Jack did give me clear parameters, by the way. Like, this is his like sound booth, his like murder den kind of space. I know that we're not allowed to. There they are. Oh, there he is. I was gonna say that I'm told that I can. The microphone is best here. I'm in a danger zone here. I gotta be careful because if I go a little louder, it might put us to the edge.
I had to up the gain so we could both be heard.
This is crazy, guys. This is the real behind the scenes kind of stuff. What we're gonna do today, okay? The title may have already indicated it. What is that?
It's an I'm Sorry Umami IPA brewed with bonito flakes from Yoho Brewery
That
in
sounds
Nagano.
amazing, but also wild.
I brought
It's like-
two. It's
Okay.
very tasty. I've had one before. I would say that it does hit you with the umami flavor. It doesn't necessarily. I haven't really picked up like the smoky, fishy bonito flake vibe, but it's very tasty. It's a very tasty beer.
That sounds the way. Yeah, I'll say the way it was described to a degree. Not a mushroom guy, but also I can tolerate some umami. But the way it was pitched was kind of like, yeah, it's like mushroom fish water.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is I was disappointed that it wasn't fishy enough. That this beer didn't have enough of that pure,
Well-
smoked and dehydrated fish
If you have
punch.
fish oil caplets, maybe you can.
I
Toss
could
a
drop
couple
them in.
there.
That's nice. Let those resolve. Are you
Dissolve.
filming inside a voting booth? Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
This is my little recording studio that I built in the new house to record voiceover stuff, and now we're in here hanging. Yo, what's up?
Are you kidding me? Illy?
Three eyes?
3 eyes?
I'm
I see
laughing
that also
after
as
every
like a-
sentence you speak, but why? It's a rhythm thing, you know? It's not the actual content. It's just sort of we keep this high energy.
And then you pause.
And then didn't matter what we said.
No, it's a rhythm thing. Well, we're smiling because of that comment.
That's
That is
very
huge.
kind.
And name-wise, I'm also envisioning a possible like raptor slash.
Oh,
instead of an
that's
interesting-
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Smiley Smiley Kyle. We will have luck and fun. It's dried tuna flake. Yeah, bonito. Which is Chris and which is Jack? I'm so perplexed. Let me show you, Jimmy the Third.
Wait, this is actually a scenario I've really been excited for.
Oh,
Hang
okay,
on,
great.
Hang on. All
Okay.
right. So, I'm Chris. This is Jack. But wait. Which one is which now?
I gotta shave my mustache.
and then I'll
and then
twist
that's the big
this
reveal.
up. Yeah. I am really excited for today, Jack, because today we're going to be outlining a summer block.
We're gonna outline a summer blockbuster from scratch right now for y'all. Thank you so much, Frugan. Here's for the sketch fund joining Patreon as well. Ready to rock this outline. Really, really appreciate that, Frugan.
Amazing.
Loving this. This is a good thing for us to have turned on. It turns out.
Yeah,
The
this
button
helps
people,
make sketches
it's really,
very
really
clearly.
kind.
Yeah.
Uh,
So we're wanting to, as the title indicates, today we want to outline what we believe will be the next great summer blockbuster. We've got a doc at the ready here. Now that we're in the same room, we don't need to do this Zoom distance thing.
no.
But what we're thinking is we want to involve y'all to we got to figure out what are the requirements of a summer blockbuster, what needs to be in them,
Yeah.
and then how will we make our own unique one that obviously will get made.
Okay, so should we just start a list of what we gotta have?
What do we have? What do we need in a summer blockbuster? What are the
we
what are
gotta
the
have?
givens? Yeah.
AKA must-haves. AKA things to include.
Good.
I'm doing this to make sure there's a good enough amount of text that I can now ask, is that readable or is it too small?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. It looks like it might be too small.
It might. No, I think to scale, it's probably. Well, we can see. This will take 30 seconds.
Great.
But we're already getting some. Well, I think also one of the things is I'll start off the list.
Yeah, great.
It's got to be released in the summer.
Gotta be okay. Hold on.
What constitutes a summer blockbuster?
Released in the summer. I'm actually gonna quibble with that.
We also need some other ones before they go by was explosions. We got animal character everybody loves potentially.
Explosions.
Car chase.
And a lovable animal is a good idea.
6 packs, either variety. I like that note. The stream will end with the reveal that this was all just a recording loop to fool the security guards because this is a heist channel. Yes,
oh,
we are
shit.
covering for a heist that's going on at your all's houses right now.
I'm gonna go a little bigger for now. Is that huge? I mean, that's huge.
I mean, that's really
We
big.
can do this for this portion at least.
Yeah.
Hey, Mobius Studios, big fans of you two. Love both C&J sketches and Avatar: The Last Airbender. Appreciate that, Mobius Studios. Appreciate that. Other things. Teenage romance. Oh, they're flying by. Teenage romance.
Sequel cliffhanger is good. I'm gonna say.
Sequel cliffhanger is great.
Sequel cliffhanger is great. I think also big twist. I think we need a big twist in there.
Big twist.
I think we need a big opening set piece.
Sex for sure.
A big opening
Crime.
set piece that only gets beaten by a bigger third act set piece.
Opening set piece. I'm going to argue 2 toppers. I think you need like a middle of the movie topper.
That is true.
And
Yeah,
then
you're
you
like,
top
where
it
can
in.
we? Well, and almost the all is lost has to be a topper too. where
Right,
it's like,
right.
Yeah.
Forced romantic subplot. Not that the romance, in a meta way, we're saying it's forced. I understand.
Yes. A shark.
Oceans. Proving a judgmental parent wrong. Love that.
That's good. Post-credit scene, important.
Nice.
That might be our sequel cliffhanger also.
Yep. 2 on the nose message. Love that.
2 scenes that leave us crying.
Ooh,
That's
2
good.
cries.
You need an emotional. I've heard somewhere too that like great movies, and I think that's true. I like the sentiment that like great movies are made up of like the best ones are made up of like 5 to 6 or like around 5 great moments, and then all the scenes essentially like lead up to or continue to build up to those moments. Like you can think in terms of like think of Shawshank and the things you remember about Shawshank Redemption, and then like what are the scenes that needed to happen to make it such a big reveal when the poster's pulled down. You know, those kind of like what about him spinning in the rain is so important. Friendships, of course. Synth music, score. We could indicate that like, yeah, who would score this movie?
I'm immediately regretting you being here and not at your own computer where you can just
I could dive into my whole
get the full Epidemic sound library.
Yeah. Should be clear that I 90% of my own music, well now at this point just music I listen to, but before my like iTunes music library was just like movie scores. Listen to them all the time. But then we also utilize a rights-free library for our sketches that now I've just like have like a really deep understanding of.
You got some favorite composers in there.
Yeah, it's great. So we can retroactively score this at some point. Obviously, since this is a loop and there's a heist going on, we'll be able to edit this later.
Yep. Thousands of lobsters rain from the sky. Of course, a staple of the genre. Here's one I'll throw out there.
Thank you to Tabaluga Dragon. Very kind. That's a very kind message. Awesome. Hope of YouTube being an awesome place again. That's nice.
Here's one I'll throw out.
Surprise Matt Damon.
Surprise Matt Damon does.
That's great.
Show up pretty often.
Yep.
Here's one I'll throw out. I think a villain that too large of a portion of people will leave going like, had some points. Kind of had a point.
You want to be, I want a movie that people outside of the theater, there's like a couple pods that are discussing it.
Yeah.
I want the people that came in, and you want the cinephile that like wanted to hate it, but then was like, you got a point or two. Like to have a summer blockbuster that kind of has a message, knocking out of the park would be great.
Too much gore one time, I think, is a staple. Where it's like that moment overstepped for me.
Independence Day got a great one when they're cutting open the
and it's just like, and it's just that moment
and
just
then
got
they're pulling the extra
too
skin
much.
sheath off.
Why did piranhas get flagged by the Automod? I'm going to allow
biting commentary.
I'm going to allow OP to say piranhas. Amazing shots of food. I love that utter disappointment.
Yeah.
Chosen One. A Chosen One's a good idea. A trailer for an animated film that nobody who's watching the film would ever see. Yep.
Some popular sports-related activity.
Oh, thrown in sports.
Yeah.
We're just playing volleyball for fun for a minute.
A single tier is also great for, the two scenes that might be involved with one of the scenes that we need to cry.
A single tier, yes, love that.
Yep. Thank you, Smiley Kyle.
Thank you, Smiley Kyle, again! I said it too!
Independence Day 3, just flat up, like just straight up. Well, didn't they do? No, that was just 2. They just did Independence Day. What was that? What was it called again? The second one. The one where the future, the tech was revolution. No, that's
reconnaissance is what I was gonna say, which is not right.
Independence Day.
Resistance
Might be good. I was just gonna say Revolutions to just make it the Matrix 3.
What was it called though?
I think it was. What was the second Independence
Hey,
Day?
what was the second Independence Day one called?
Because this is really important for what we're...
Dramatically putting on sunglasses, and I think also the mirror of dramatically taking them off. I would like that. I would like both of those.
Yeah.
Gratuitous montage.
Right when someone's bones are about to be broken, we cut to someone biting into an apple.
Oh, I hate that! Brendan, I hate that!
Put it down.
Resurgence!
Apple
Thank you,
Bones
Ramirez
Resurgence,
Arjun.
yes, great.
CGI humanoid cats that sing. Was that a summer blockbuster? I think that was a Christmas Oscar bait.
So maybe a timeout real quick. You did say you wanted to debate that it has to come out in the summer to be a summer blockbuster. You don't think that it doesn't have to.
Just because we earlier defined the legal definition of summer as June 21st, which is the summer solstice or whatnot.
Sure.
I would argue that in a normal year when people go to see movies in theaters, I would say that the summer blockbuster season usually kicks off in May. There's usually like a tentpole superhero movie that comes out in May, which is technically spring. It's
kind of, I can concede that, mainly because I'll use the smaller example, which is when people are like, big weekend take, technically premiered midnight on Wednesday, counting Thursday.
Why are we counting all of that?
Monday because it was a holiday weekend. Too many asterisks.
Dinos. Robots.
Slow-mo fireworks celebration over an amusement park, maybe, or an amusement, just like something amusing.
Yes. Robots, but they're in disguise. Now hang on. How could that be?
Robots in disguise, that's like Alien in some way, right?
Yeah, I think there's probably one it's even more like, but...
Well, Alien, there is the robot that then we didn't realize was a robot, right?
Right.
In disguise. Or you're saying like a robot that's wearing like a trench coat and a cool, like, funny nose?
No, I'm saying that there's a very popular summer blockbuster franchise where the theme song includes the words, robots in disguise. I'll let you find that for yourself.
Robots in disguise. Oh my God. What?
Political commentary that doesn't quite hit the mark. I love that. I'll say no.
Robots in disguise.
Doesn't quite hit the mark or is like overbroad. Like, that the thing is like that it's like a
Like a Back to the Future of some kind?
no, you'll find it.
What era are we talking?
Well, the song is from the 80s and wasn't actually part of the
It wasn't part of the movie. It was like
it's
the
part
movie
of the predecessor to the movie, which was a cartoon, and then the movies, and there's like 7 of them. I don't think they have that theme song, but it's implied.
Oh, Transformers.
Transformers, robots in
Yes.
the skies. Political overreach, like an overbroad thing that's like meant to be written in a way that no one could possibly disagree with, but because it's so like vague and broad, everyone is just sort of like, all right.
Yeah, fine. You check that box off, you know.
Yeah, like racism is bad. Is like, okay, bad, you didn't write a good movie. Final bad guy is killed after a witty catchphrase.
Yep.
Bad guy killed after witty catchphrase. And I think that can go either way, where either the hero gets the witty line before they take them out, or occasionally there's the like villains dying, but they go to throw out their one last like witty little lob right before their thing blows up.
I feel like a good mentor character that may die would usually die, but because we're in a postmodern movie world, maybe that mentor doesn't die as the like, whoa, that's the person that should have died, not our main character. You know, some big like big twist there. Tom Cruise running for sure. One-liners
for sure. Those might not all be in the outline, but we'll imply them for sure.
I'm feeling like 5 more minutes, and then we got to start landing into some more into some like.
Thank you for keeping us on schedule, Chris. There's a strict schedule.
Very strict, because as we all know, the law knows when summer starts, and the law knows when it's time to start breaking this stuff down into an outline. Helicopters, yep. Very broad metaphor about class divide, but using different species. Aliens and humans, between different animals, that's great.
Broad metaphor about class divide is exactly what I mean. That's exactly right. Hey, thanks again, Smiley Kyle!
He's on set. 4:3 ratio. Oh, wow. That would be that was Justice League. That was a strong swing for that. But I mean,
did you watch it? I didn't watch it.
I did watch it. I didn't watch the previous one. I watched the
Snyder cut, but with no previous reference.
No, I was gonna watch that one first, then go back, and I was like, okay, well, someday when I feel like it. Boy trapped in an iceberg. That's interesting.
Do you not get that reference either?
No. Do I know summer blockbusters? Or
that one's not quite a summer blockbuster. That's Avatar. Chris has never seen Avatar.
Which we got into the last stream. We can repilot the reason for that another time. But there's a reason at this point now. I have not seen it. But that is interesting. As a conceit. I mean, I should probably watch Avatar at some point. I'll watch Justice League first, and then I'll. Yeah.
Well, I mean, watch all the Transformers first. Just bang those out.
Yeah, I'd love to do a rewatch on that.
Outdated meme I like. Someone talking towards camera with their listener behind them. Oh, the classic like, now this guy's a bit of an asshole. Chris, I can't stand him. Wait, is he?
The meeting was rescheduled to 3.
An idea that I've always had for a sketch that has never worked. I've tried to think about how to actually write it for a sketch, and instead it's just something I have saved for one of our scripts as an exhibition piece, or as an outline. Is just, I think that's a brilliant way. Not a brilliant way, but I think there's a fun way to do character exposition about an off-screen character, and then just have that joke, which is just like the game of, oh my God, they're right behind me, so you can talk about them, and they're just not.
Right.
Like for the number, they're right behind me. They're not behind you. Keep saying, okay, well,
right.
Yeah, well, it's not saying there's an asshole.
But then they're asking, like, can I trust your opinion?
Yeah, they're right behind me.
Just look. I'm not going to look because I'm not going to see that I can see them.
Hero fighting group of enemies one at a time. Yeah, very patient henchmen.
Yeah.
Very patient henchmen feels like a big staple.
Patient henchmen that are like there's no real like learning curve because it's not like oh, you know what? Let me try a different tactic here. That guy, number 7, went in and similar
approach.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a pretty meaty list. Bad narration at the beginning. I like that. I also like
breaking the 6th wall. You turn up in our houses. It is a heist after all.
It for sure.
Yeah.
I like the device of lazy exposition through narrative device at the beginning that is quickly justified and thrown away forever. Makes you think we're gonna narrate the whole movie, and then it's just like, oh no, cut to the kid's talking to his doll, and that's why he explained all that stuff.
But then we never use the kid.
Never
talking to the
gonna
doll
narrate.
Again. No.
There's
right.
no more VO in the movie.
Yeah,
it was just to give you an opening VO, and then
does the opening VO, is it establishing a massive world or rules or lore?
Yeah.
Some sort of
over sets up stuff that could just be shown.
Yeah.
And then the justification for the VO never matters again.
News reporters giving exposition, that's good. That's sometimes, which I'll use the example of, but I'm using the example from a movie that I love. And I thought actually the opening with the news report exposition was awesome. Freaking Edge of Tomorrow.
Everything about Edge of Tomorrow we love.
Oh,
we love
so
Edge of Tomorrow.
Good. Oh, it's so good.
Bystanders clap when the couple kisses because they care for some reason. Oh, here's a favorite one of mine that I've also tried to write a sketch of, and there's no sketch. There's no sketch here. Two henchmen are wowed by thing hero does. Villain gets mad.
Yep.
The
Avatar.
moment it's in Avatar,
yes.
not Avatar, not
animated Avatar, but
the James Cameron one.
Yeah.
But it's such a trope. The thing of like main bad guy flanked by 2 henchmen. Hero does some cool stunt. The henchman is like, whoa, pretty good. And then this guy goes, Love that. I hate that. Use of the word quantum for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Just make Edge of Tomorrow and hope no one notices.
I mean, the title was so off that
nobody
no
ever
one watch it anyway. So yeah. And if they do notice, then we're just kind of doing something meta about like the live die repeat nature of it.
Cameo from a singer on the soundtrack. I like that. I like someone else earlier was saying like first acting role from some sort of singer or athlete or pro wrestler.
Or even just, you could even go huge influencer that's now doing the step up. Like, was a line item to be like, they're going to bring this amount of money into the seats. I'm wondering, too, like, for a summer blockbuster, there's so many different kind of types of summer blockbuster. We've got the ones that are like, bringing a sci-fi world in. Some of them are
let's go through some of those.
Some of them are like Fast and the Furious, like bending the rules of physics, but still generally in a world that could, in theory, exist.
How do you fucking spell unconventional? Come on.
Well, you're doing uncoverable. Yeah, there you go. You need to put the N in there.
Oh, conventional.
Yeah. But genre-wise, we're
gonna jump. We're gonna jump. Thank you for those many suggestions.
Yes.
We're gonna jump. Subgenres.
Record scratch. Yeah, that's me. I guess you're wondering how I got here. That's a common one. Yep.
Subgenres.
I mean, okay, so we go. Alien sci-fi for sure. You get the Men in Blacks. You get the Independence Days.
Yeah.
You get the Cowboys and Aliens, which
I feel like we've talked about a lot.
Yeah, it should have been done differently. Okay, we've got
Ghosts. Psychological thriller.
Yeah. We've got the like big monster movie, like some sort of singular monster.
Monster. Like a
like the Jaws slash the Godzilla slash the
So not a monster in a house, the like big threat monster.
Yeah.
Which is the similar, I would say, a very similar genre to a natural disaster movie.
Yep.
Those are usually kind of those borrow from each other in structure.
Which kind of gets into post-apocalypse, but that also can be
Ooh,
sci-fi.
yeah. Did I just change fonts? What the heck?
I think you went. Yeah, this is good though. It's showing our process.
Yeah.
That'll be last polish.
Do big sword slash and fantasy movies? Do those? I feel like a lot of those. No, there's a mix of summer blockbuster ones and prestige-y, because there's some of these. There's the version that's the summer blockbuster. There's the version that's the prestige-y Oscar bait. Thanks again, Smiley Kyle. But there is some fantasy. There's definitely some big fantasy summer blockbusters. You get that.
Yeah, there's Pirates.
Yeah.
You get into the, what are some of the other? I think period piece fantasy stuff, like you kind of would you consider like Guy Ritchie's King Arthur a summer blockbuster?
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
So yes. So if we're doing a fantasy thing, we got to tilt it out of the like. It's sort of, if it's a summer blockbuster, it's going to downplay sort of esoteric world building and sort of play up the action adventure Knight's Tale.
Yeah.
Vibes.
We got the like guy, like grizzled guy on a revenge mission, kind of.
Yeah.
Might be getting more into character, but that's also like
no, but your
John Wicks,
Takens, your
Wanted.
Wicks, your proto Die Hard type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Historical.
Independence Day, yes, obviously.
Subgenre in here is sort of within a lot of these, within a natural disaster thing, within a sci-fi. There's sort of, as opposed to a like single star vehicle thing, there's sort of the like broad sweeping ensemble piece where you're getting like a glimpse over here, a glimpse over here.
Yep. Sports person overcoming injury, sports movie. Yep, we can kind of get into that. Also, that could be a character.
Spy Kids 5 as a genre.
Yeah, genre, of course.
Yep. Similarly, Shark Boy, Lava Girl 3 is a genre. Hero has a gross opinion on women that only shows up now and then. That's sort of a genre.
Yep.
Based on an obscure childhood toy. Yeah. Sort of weird toy adaptations of weird IP.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this is Mousetrap. They did a Mousetrap movie, didn't they?
They did. Was that based off of the like game?
Yeah, wasn't it? It had to be. Parody of a very popular movie. That's sort of a forgotten summer blockbuster, but like your scary movies. Yeah. Those don't really. I feel like those don't really get made anymore.
Yeah. Is there a summer blockbuster comedy genre? Like, is that?
I feel like it's one of these, but with Will Ferrell. You just do, or Kevin Hart or whoever. I mean, but it's like a buddy cop movie, but...
Did we put superhero on here? I mean, that's...
We didn't. Superhero. Action comedy featuring SNL star on hiatus. Yeah, exactly. It's that.
Yes.
Hungry Hippos, as an example. Yeah.
Yeah. What would be an IP that would, as a
yeah, let's just explore that for a second. Adaptations of weird IP. So,
Topo Chico.
Topo Chico blockbuster.
Topo Chico blockbuster, obviously.
Yeah, other like games or, like a fucking action Smurfs. It's like stuff like that. I feel like they would make Scruffs.
Action Smurfs is very funny. The
time travel. Why won't you let me just type the word Smurfs?
It's pending
MacBook's pages.
Backgammon.
Love the idea of a backgammon action film. Settlers of Catan is a great I could see us doing that.
That could happen. There's a world where that may have already happened. I don't know.
Live action Sorry.
I feel like if someone were to make the game, like the board game IP send up, there'd be a lot of those little winky lines too, like the sorry, and then we get it. We're all board game people there. We know what they're doing.
Video game adaptations. Yeah, live action Pac-Man.
Yep.
Like you're a man with an unquenchable hunger for fruits and dots, but these friggin' ghosts.
Yeah.
Live action Paceman. I'll allow that.
That's good.
Oh, the way that it's scrolling is really messing up my vibe.
Well, you made it like 500 font. So but yeah,
Lego Monkey Kid. Yep. GeoGuessr for sure. For sure. That's like a GeoGuessr adaptation would be like a Saw movie where you're dropped like somewhere on the earth and you need to find your way back to somewhere while you're being like hunted.
Or it's the like cheap indie thriller where it's someone that is given the like clues and then they are trying to save their friend, not knowing, like they can see that the friend is through an app of some kind bound and gagged in a small area.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
have to piece together through scrolling Google
You see
Maps.
that your friend is bound, and also you can see a license plate. And the license plate, it's blurred, but there's a blue strip on the side, which implies an EU plate. Hey, thanks a lot, Mobius Studios. Appreciate it. Spaghetti Western. Animated movie. Animated movie where the main character is an animal and a bunch of people are like, hey, is it just me or is this cartoon animal kind of sexy? And then a bunch of other people are like, what the fuck? No. For sure.
Right. All right. We've got a lot of genres.
Okay.
I feel like we need to...
Chris,
we need to hone it.
You're killing it with this scheduling.
I'm over here kind of like, I can't type. Jack's got the type area. He's looking at chat a lot. I want to be able to contribute in the way that I can be like, helping guide, I can keep us to kind of the loose schedule. I'll be the AD.
Be the AD.
Like, if you guys
also, if you want to type at any point,
just last shot. But we should be. Remember, we got a schedule to keep everybody here. But great work. We love making movies, right? We love making movies.
If you want to type at any point, you could have saved us from this friggin' Smurfs debacle that I've been dealing with.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. You just got to right click it and say that's what I meant.
Change back to Smurfs. You were right.
See, that's what I'm here to do.
I just had to right click it. What a friggin' AD!
Yeah, I got you guys.
What
I got
an
you guys.
AD!
I got you guys. Do you need my ID for anything? Do you need my ID for anything?
Excuse me?
Sorry.
Excuse me?
Sorry. Love the place, though. Real fun.
I'll throw in one more body swap.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, we got to start.
We're gonna start. Now. Let's get into the. Let's get into the production now. Let's make this movie. I guess we have to write it first. We have to outline it first. Then we have to write it. Then we have to make it.
Sounds tedious.
Yeah, but I feel like the zone. We can go about this a couple ways. Like we've got a whole smattering of beautiful, brilliant ideas.
We could
Wondering
go
if we go genre
bolts
first
and stuff.
Yeah.
Or we could just pick a genre, something that's calling us,
and then thinking like characters that would like identify that problem or like be part of that problem, because it feels like if we could find an access character that's got a problem, and then ride out like that character's problem that would allow us to have like twists, a lot of set pieces, good villain, would be great.
I feel like
Tom,
hey,
thank
thanks,
you very
Tom.
much. Wow.
So would we. Very fun. Very funny guys.
Please arrange that. Amazing.
All right, so the subgenres that's popping up for me, obviously Shark Boy, Lava Girl, 3.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Live action.
You want
Simpsons.
something that's broad and like can fill a lot. So I feel like Spy Kids 5.
Yeah, also good.
Yeah.
Oh, I do like. Sorry, just to throw in up here based on Allegrispa's suggestion. I like the idea that the director got fired in the middle.
Yes.
So
We're
that
going
they're
solo on this.
So that you just get like weird orphaned beats that don't belong in this movie anymore.
Right.
That
It's
were just
AI,
somebody else's
even
set
if it's,
piece.
and even if it are two good directors, it still
Yeah,
feels
it's just like
incongruous.
mismatched and weird.
I also liked Moneypenny's pitch of Dependence Day. Just dependent. Okay. Do you make another doc, or do you do a doc below this?
Oh,
like, what's the way now that we've got all these?
Yeah, maybe we make another doc. Maybe we make another doc. I'd have to figure out how to highlight that in Pages, but it's very doable.
Or it's
No, it's super doable.
great.
Um,
Oh, Wes Anderson.
I'm gonna click this over here. You start thinking about how we're gonna approach this,
Yeah.
and then as you do, I'm gonna set us up a secondary Pages location.
Yes, good. I feel like an approach is going to be picking a genre that at least, or like a macro world that will allow for multi-genre stuff. You want some of that. A lot of the like Marvel type of stuff is like you're getting the comedy, you're getting the romance, you're getting the action, you're getting the sci-fi. There's like elements of a lot. I think, and then we landed on a character and figure out that problem, and then I think in the outline we can have like some pre-categories of like what launches us into the second act, what's our like big midpoint thing, what's our all is lost, and then start to fill in like. Hello, 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 hello. There we go. There we go.
There we go. Is it everywhere? Why did that happen? Okay. Truly no idea what happened there. Truly no idea.
To catch you up with what the audio was that you missed out on.
Oh,
we
yeah.
did a fun bit about how
The director got
at
fired.
the break that you didn't realize this, but the director got fired, and then we rehired a new director, and then it was directed by Wes Anderson, and then we did a symmetrical thing.
To do the Wes Anderson, we were going to do a flatter
Right.
image in a more symmetrical frame.
Yep.
And then when doing that, we realized we were almost exactly the width of the booth, but I realized Chris was actually just pressing
giving
in.
it more of that press. So that's really
so
what
that's
you
about
missed.
what the bit was. Yes, so I think the other way here,
Let's
without
stay in the same dock, and we'll scroll down and we'll build. That's
great.
Perfect.
Alternatively, we could do a Goog doc because I've already got this all set up.
I'm feeling confident about getting in at some point to that dock and cleaning up when it's necessary. But actually, yeah, maybe a Google Doc.
This
would be nice.
this will be pretty
Yeah,
easy.
we're already there.
We're already there.
But I feel like, Jack, we need to start thinking like, what is a fun character that's got a problem that needs some fixing? It seems like within that like list of stuff we've got, I'm trying to think of what would be a good like launch point of the person that is the person that we're seeing like you have no idea are you curious how I ended up there?
Here we go. Now we're in a Google Doc. Now we got a separate doc. We can do this.
Let me get in there on this one and start outlining some
Love it.
target
Please do.
points. Great. Okay. Yeah.
And if I click here, it'll still allow? No, it doesn't. Okay, cool.
Okay. Great.
Rachel McManus with a fun suggestion. You guys do a lot of genre play. Maybe pick two different ones and try to marry them together. I think that's a pretty strong idea.
Yes.
Like if you say the words to me, alien heist or detective shark boy and lava girl, I'm in. Found footage rom-com. There we go.
As you can tell, I can do two things at once, which is type and think at
Yeah,
the
you're
same
hearing
time. Yeah,
all
I
of
can
these
really
bits.
know all of this stuff.
What up, Shaldo? What about one of you plays a larger-than-life character and the other plays the straight guy? That is sort of a genre of our sketch material, for sure.
Yep. Peas in a pod. We can be peas in a pod
sometimes we do peas in a pod. Like, we've written a lot of peas in a pod.
No, we did the aliens,
the Golden Record?
most recent one.
That's peas in a pod?
Peas in a pod?
Sort of two peas in a pod? Very similar guy?
Yeah. Well, there's also the July 6th Park character kind of vibes. We're playing
kinda
versions of
opposite.
ourselves, but playing, dropped in.
Only true mashup would be Alien Heist. Should we outline an Alien Heist?
Alien Heist.
A space heist, an alien heist.
I'm so drawn to that, but I'm also drawn to it for the wrong reasons in some way. Where I'm like, can we only do aliens and heist?
All right, we're
do something else?
We're specifically not doing an alien heist.
To prove to you, we can think of other things too, if we have to. But of course, it'll turn into an alien heist by the end. That's the twist. Yeah, exactly. All right, something like this is what we're kind of play with in here. Okay, we got ourselves our macro outline. What are we doing when it comes to our character that we're thinking of? That's like, we want to see this person win, but they're up against troubles.
Yeah. Real quick, just because I'm never going to let somebody asking about a July 6th Park t-shirt go by.
No, of course not.
Any chance for restock on sizes? We'll look into that. Thank you.
Yes.
Good call. Brendan Rice in the chat.
Unlikely.
Okay.
So we're thinking genre-wise, going to our other doc here.
Do you want to pop that up on screen?
Yeah, pop that up on screen.
I'll pop it
so
up
we
on
can
screen.
We can do this.
So you can pop back and forth. I'll take us out of studio mode. So if you click on a thing, it'll just pop back. So if you're steering, browser, CNJ browser is this one, and CNJ pages is this
and then your social security.
My
number,
social
that's
security
why I clicked
number
that.
is oh god, oh god, fake crash. It was a fake crash.
We crashed.
So here now we're in here.
Great.
Now we're in here. Dependence Day alien heist. The alien crew realizes the true treasure was their dependence on each other all along. That does sound like something we would write.
I feel like it's that would be the dismount of the movie, or like the thematic resolve where someone is like, I guess it wasn't Independence Day, was it? Or maybe it was Dependence Day.
Whoa.
Because I'm needing you.
I'll say, Chris,
Yeah.
I kind of like this world. That's not a thing we play with a lot because you can't really do it in a cheap, low-budget sketch.
Yeah.
And maybe we find
Monster would be a great way to like shoehorn that like loose metaphor about society
Yeah,
in there too,
differences.
You know?
I also think any monster movie is allowed to have alien background stuff.
Yep.
So I think that's
Can we use something that was just a flash idea I've had about a like setup for a movie that will never get made, nor have we ever made.
yes.
But picture this. This is my thought as like what a cool setup for the movie section.
Okay.
Right? We're going about our normal lives.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just living.
We're
humans.
like people in cities.
Somebody's in the city, somebody's in the suburbs.
News reports,
Whoa,
right?
okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Then we're kind of like, we're showing like agriculture and a farmer.
Yeah.
And then we're suddenly seeing people like gather fruit and stuff like that. We're picking strawberries,
Yeah,
right? We're
if
in a
this turns into
strawberry
the
bush.
fucking happening, Chris, I'm going to be so
We're picking
mad.
strawberries, and then people just start falling in the fields. No, we're picking strawberries. Someone's going by. Then we start zeroing in close, right? We're zooming in close on like someone that's like picking strawberries and putting them in a basket. And then they're just picking, and they pick, and then we look, and then we see the biggest fucking strawberry ever. Huge, giant strawberry, okay? And then the person is just like, what's going on? We hang on their look, smash cut. We're like, what was that all about, right? Around the world, fruits and vegetables are starting to like grow in strange places to like enormous sizes.
Okay.
Then what we realize is that
the
world it has been long laying dormant for the arrival of the beast that is
That needs
gonna
to
be
feed.
needing to feed on all this shit. But that's what's been like.
I love that.
slowly-
One thing I love about that, first of all, let me just say, is it perfectly dovetails with my actual beliefs about the flat Earth and about how
Right. This
most
is a Jack. We shouldn't.
you know,
we should,
most,
probably
like,
shouldn't dive into that. Yeah.
most like plateaus and mesas are obviously just cut tree trunks. They were before there were the giant trees. You know about giant Earth? It's part of the flat Earth theory.
got it. Got it.
I'm
Well,
in for
I
that
have- I
opening.
have also-
I'm in. Let's fucking write that movie.
Yesing your thing too. Yesing your thing about the flat Earth thing. I was like, can people have a hollow Earth and a flat Earth at the same time? Yes. Cube Earth. It's flat and it's hollow. You
or
get
it's
it all.
just or it's just like
Just
Oreo thins
Yes,
Earth.
yes, yes, yes.
It's a flat Earth, but with a little puffed
Yeah.
center. All right, great.
So I guess that's like, I'm just thinking like Monster's gonna come and eat all this shit that we like. It has been either it's like laid dormant and been prepared for that,
Want to try this?
or it's been a thing where the like it's like sent some sort of
Yeah.
beam or some sort of ray that's gonna be able to
I like
cause that to start happening.
It's definitely alien-y in a way.
Yeah.
I think we're playing to our strengths there, so why not?
yeah.
Um,
Fruit Ninja the movie is a funny. It's a funny. I mean, that might be our.
yeah.
Yeah. But I'm also afraid to like get into IP because then we might accidentally write something that these people that own the IP are actually making.
I
you
mean,
know?
listen, if you didn't think this was a backdoor opportunity for us to sell something to whoever owns the Fruit Ninja IP, then you're not paying
You're
enough
not paying
attention.
attention.
Here's my one concern, just in terms of genre-wise. That feels to me like it begs to be a giant ensemble-y.
Yes.
Somebody's working at the Pentagon, some local farmer who's got an inside thing, and the blah, blah, blah. Do we want to do one of those? We could outline one of those. It will be daunting. Is there a way to make this? Because, like, some monster movies do still have, like, singular protagonist. That would be something like Rampage. Did you ever see Rampage?
No, I want to see Rampage really
is
bad.
friggin' insane.
I feel like.
Rampage is crazy.
I mean, I'd love to find the way that's like. Well, okay, think of Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow is like crazy alien circumstance that then we're going through this one. This is the
so
one
we're gonna
person
find
that can.
singular protagonist in this.
Farmer?
Could be a farmer. It could be, we could do a Jeff Goldblum-y type, like the person who's believed, who's like, had the conspiracy that that big monster was out there and was coming, and is now being like validated. So they're suddenly the expert and they have to like step up and whatever. Jeff Goldblum in Independence Day, just to be clear.
In a lot of different movies. Yeah. Yes, that's. But you also want to see that person kick ass to have like some like
Right.
sequences.
It could be someone who, I mean, it could be a movie where like we get this big thing, but then we're like embedded with the like either hired gun or military organ. Aaron Taylor Johnson in. I mean, that's still like a world spanner, a bunch of different perspectives things, but the Aaron Taylor Johnson portion of the first of the most recent Godzillas.
Yes.
Where you're just like, oh, for a while we're just like with this soldier who's on the ground, like dealing with this monster. Yes, we're going live action.
Yes, live action, of course. Expensive. Not to say animation isn't expensive, super expensive, but I'm thinking too, like, I'm thinking. Well, also this is another thing I think we should do is we should have the title of the movie and then it just changes as the thing goes. My first pitch is agriculture, just as what we start. With,
Agro-culture?
Agriculture.
Oh,
agro.
I mean, I'm
I
going to
think you
immediately
just did
counterpitch that it's
yes.
agriculture.
So it's for now. The movie's called Agriculture. My thought also is that like Access character that is kind of like had a military background, like that has turned to farming as the way to kind of like retire. You know what I mean? Like get into like I want to live off the land and not be faced with my past.
So you want it to be like the first person who spots some of this fruit stuff. Like, so for a while this movie's actually about the fruit. That's what you're pitching. In your movie, the first act is the fruit. It's people dealing with this fruit thing, and then the monster shows up at the beginning of Act 2, right?
I'm wondering if it's a. Well, now I'm just. If it's more about the fruit, then my mind goes to stuff where it's like, then it's the guy who's like an opportunist who's just like, I mean, I'm gonna start charging admission to come check out this world's biggest strawberry, you know? But then there's someone up the street that's like, but I got the world's biggest pear. And there's like competing interests. It's like, why are there all these world's largest fruits all of a sudden?
I've cast our lead, just so you know.
Oh, of course, agriculture. I think also if we get into agriculture and like large fruit and stuff like that, there's also some social commentary that gets into that about like, you know, we what is it to like have all this food when we should be sharing it, you know, and we should be able to like
yeah.
So there's a
That's
sense of
very
classism.
vague. Just like end world hunger by like resolving food waste. Like that's very vague. That means nothing. And yes, I think the like casual pro-military propaganda is an important piece in most blockbusters.
Yes.
Okay.
The farmer's Dwayne Johnson. Yeah. The farmer, it's agriculture. And then but I feel like yeah, so I guess like as the fruit is forming and people are being confused by what's going on, either our character is the one that like is one of the people that goes to like the farmer meeting, you know, like it's like I got my crops having issues too, but no one's listening to his theory.
And there's a darkness in his eyes about it because here's what it is. Here's what we're doing.
Okay.
We're doing one of these. He's ex-military, or she. No, it's The Rock.
Right.
He's ex-military, and he was part of a covert op that covered this thing up a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it's what scarred him so bad and got him to retire to this humble life of farming.
And they thought they'd resolved the problem, maybe. That's why he retired, because he's like, okay, I'm never going to do that again. He had to do something questionable to do it. Like he had to self-sacrifice, or he was like had to make a choice of like, do I cut the rope to close the portal, or do I save my friend and keep it open?
Cut the rope.
And he cut the rope.
And he cut the rope and he closed the portal.
Yep.
I like that. His friend died. Potential twist. The friend fell
still
into the
alive,
portal. The
turned
friend's
into
gonna
the
be
monster.
still alive, and the friend's
Is
the monster?
Is the friend the
and
monster?
maybe the monster didn't exist until the military intervened, and it's
And then that's
one of those
why-
sort of like vague metaphors for like, we
for or
created a
against?
terrorist cell
Yes.
that then, it's one of those.
Yes. And food waste commentary is important too.
Food
yeah,
waste
of
commentary
course.
for sure. Can Jack play the monster? Yeah. To be clear, we will be shooting this film.
Yes. And I will be playing The Rock. Okay, great. Fruit is popping up. Rock is ex-military, part of a covert op that scarred him so bad. Friend died in the past. Closing
The reason the fruits are growing so large is because the water from the ocean where the monster woke up rains on the fields. I love that.
That's interesting.
I also love the idea that they'd be like, that there would be government agencies very interested in the fruits like DNA, trying to harvest the seeds from these giant strawberries to potentially end world hunger, or for some more nefarious reason.
Who's our bad guy?
Yeah, I mean, so the monster in a natural disaster movie,
Yeah.
the monster is like, in a monster or natural disaster movie, the monster is sort of the threat that feels like the bad guy, but ends up usually being someone who's trying to profit off the chaos, who is worse than, and then we're reliant on Rampage or Godzilla to save us.
Also, it's got to be the villain has to be someone that is showing greed, some element of human nature that needs to be suppressed.
Just to hit my request that the villain's kind of a little bit right.
Yeah.
It's a villain who first bad pitch would be it's a villain who's really concerned about food waste. So they're sort of propagating these giant fruits, and they then eventually, they're propagating the giant fruits to make their argument about, we should be harvesting these things, we should be using these to end world hunger, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually they're also going to want to kill the monster.
Yeah.
To harvest the meat off of this monster.
Totally.
To cure world hunger.
Yes.
But it's going to be but then also they're going to, then something fucked up.
Right.
Also, they want to eat humans.
Yes, yeah, right. No, it goes too far. There's a plausibility.
Yeah.
But you're saying propagating the fruit in that, when the fruit pops up, this to the villain does the villain know why? Or does the villain be like, I'm an opportunist, let's just start using this and really distributing it more?
as opposed to like we need that fruit. We shouldn't be giving it away.
I think our first impression of the villain is that there's somebody who's coming in here and wants to take the strawberry seeds to plant more giant strawberries, and our guy is already at odds with that person because they're like, if you make more strawberry seeds,
you're inviting them
more monsters.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, don't worry about that. We need more strawberries. We need more strawberries. We will eventually find out that they know about the monster. They're much more knowledgeable than we realized, and they are in fact trying to bait more monsters to come.
Who's the real monster?
Whoa.
So the
You know what I mean?
villain.
Something like that.
Do we think the catalyst of this movie, the thing that says like, got a problem? Like we're seeing the fruits pop up. Our guy is probably immediately thinking in the whole setup of the movie being like something weird's up. But then the catalyst is probably when he gets the evidence he needs to be like, I know it's on the way. Or does the world know it's on the way and they don't know what to deal with?
No, I think like it's been so covered up that the rest of the world doesn't know, and he's the one he's a canary in the coal mine. I really like the idea that like this intro sequence you've pitched is somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
We're following some other farmer, and then we're at like the local town hall.
Farmer,
Yeah. What are we gonna do about this?
My crop's been coming off. They're just filled with a bunch of strawberries.
All of our crops have been boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
The
Wait,
rock.
no, do it where it's the shoulder thing of like, and that's my point, and then you say the point.
All of our crops are big.
Yeah, and then it's a natural zoom, and that's yes, exactly. Yes,
know?
that's I
One of
know
those.
exactly what that is. Also, zipper's on the left on this thing. It's so weird. I don't know what's going on. Is it a cycling jacket? Okay,
So
so
it might
then
be a women's jacket, right? Don't women's clothes usually button and zip on the opposite side because
also
of
European though.
old sexism? Oh, also European.
Yeah. So then that,
Villain is a knockoff Thanos that just isn't cool at all. That's what we're gearing towards so far.
the catalyst then is where The Rock gets the info he needs to know shit's hitting the fan. So in this debate section before we're going to be like, that's what the movie's about, maybe he's trying stuff of like pleading with a old scientist buddy or like calling up that favor
Yeah.
from military. Or is he denying it? Is he being like, this isn't my fish to fry anymore?
Oh, it could be just trying to like helpfully give a little tip, and he gets roped into the bigger thing. You know, he's like trying
Right.
to set the record straight on something, but he's trying to stay out of it. But,
Yeah.
like he gets passed along into an important, piece of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. The motivation for the evil farmer should also be solving world hunger via monsters lowering human population. That's interesting.
Yeah, I do think the idea that like whoever is trying to, and this person's probably from the government, and they're seeing the opportunity to propagate these fruit and whatever. And here's what I'm picturing. I'm picturing like Guy Pearce in glasses.
Yes. Yeah.
And he's like sort of winning, and we like him. We think we like him, but there's something a little fishy. But he's like, what a great opportunity. And his American accent's a little weird.
Yep. The Rock gets the info he needs. He's and in this section you were saying he's like it's not his problem. He's kind of pushing it
Yeah,
off
he's just
until
going to pass something along to his friend who still works at the Pentagon. Somebody from his unit works at the Pentagon, maybe? Michael Pena?
Yep. and then when this
Also,
becomes
where are we getting the love interest in here? And
then when
by
this-
the way, The Rock, have you noticed? I've never seen him have good romantic chemistry with anyone. in any
right.
movie.
Which that's what this one's going to be. This is what's going to change that.
Yeah, this will be the breakthrough for him.
I feel like once we have what's like launching this, then he's going like once the movie is cooking, when we're like, there's our movie poster. Is it like Pentagon person's like, I don't know, my hands are tied. They're putting me away. They're silencing me. Everyone's like freaking out. Like it's too little, too late.
I like that.
And then he, at one point, like, we show him on his farm, and then he opens up the shed with the lock on it, opens up the doors, and he's got his helicopter.
He's gonna have to
he's
do
got
it
his
himself.
stuff that's gonna be like, I gotta go travel the world to try and deliver a message. I
Yeah,
gotta go
what
try
would be
and take
the
out the
what's the
monster.
actionable thing that he can now do?
What could he do? Owen Wilson needs to see the fruit and say, wow.
Well, wow. Yeah, what is an accomplishable task that he can set out to do?
Because what happens in the other big monster movies where it's like, Independence Day is like, I need to get the information to the president, says Jeff Goldblum, of like, there's a countdown that's happening. And then Air Force One is like, we need to get to where we can nuke them. And then it's like a lot of the tactics are like getting the people together to go through potential bureaucratic process to get the like manpower behind it. And then at the very end, it strips down to like bare knuckle stuff.
It can also be, there's the thing where like he's setting out to like convey one piece of information, and in the process gets caught up in like the monster's first attack. So that we've got sort of the like fleeing sequence, the like saving people from the monster that he knew was coming, but he's not like, involved in fighting it yet. There's sort of like a survival sort of, that feels like first attack. Where do you imagine the first attack happened? It's the end of Act 1, right? Like that's our
end of Act 1, and maybe he like had to go. I'm trying to think of like a farm country that like, I mean, you could have farms in anywhere, but like it's something that's close in proximity to a larger city. Is he going to try and warn his sig other or ex that's like,
I love the ex and estranged child who live in the second place that's going to get hit.
Yes.
So his area gets hit, and now
he's like, I gotta save her. We gotta get out of here. There was also a great pitch in there of he needs to blow up one of the fruits for an important reason. That would be a great third act surprise. That like the monster's eating the fruits. Obviously, you'd put some sort of explosive in the fruit, or one of them has been like agriculturally, scientifically designed as like a poison of some kind for the monster.
Here's the thing I'm going to pitch here.
Great.
That I'm just putting in here already.
The monster attacks during an agriculture convention. Great.
I think on page 10, we're all concerned about these fruits, and there's something dark in the rock's eyes that he knows something more is going on here with the fruit.
Yep.
I think there needs to be on page 10 something weird that happens to the fruit that confirms the rock's suspicions that no one else understands. So, like, there's a big strawberry in a field, and they wake up the next morning and there's a bite mark or something.
Yes.
I think we need something like that.
And then everyone's like, it's just coyotes. Just coyotes.
Yeah, just huge coyotes.
How did coyotes pick it off the tree? Yeah, that's good.
I got no idea how to spell coyotes. How many Y's and where do they go?
C-O-Y-O-T-E. Yep.
Okay, you jump in there.
Rural Virginia. Not a bad pitch.
Jason.
What is the apocalypse in this movie? Says Squeaky. Wait, I missed it. I guess that it's a monster is threatening.
Yeah, so we
apocalypse.
haven't really drilled down on what the monster is. So should we take a moment to sort of talk about what this monster is, what it looks like?
Yes. And is it a monster that we're like not fully seeing? Do we fully see it at the beginning of Act 2, or do we not see it till like the midpoint of the movie?
I think the beginning of Act 2 can be the like, we get like legs, we get like something disappearing into the distance, we get, chaos without the full glimpse, and then we get a full stare down.
Here's my first thought, and maybe it's too fucked up.
Yeah.
But it is his friend. And he just went through like whatever that portal was, it's like I can't. It's like a thing that's like a black hole. Like we don't know what it is. It's like too unknown, the like properties of this nuclear fucking thing. And then they like close it up, seal it up, it's done. And then we don't know, but then it like forged this thing, and then this guy is a monster that then suddenly makes it personal because it recognizes him.
Okay.
And then it's hard.
Okay, I'm loving this because now we get a villain who we think he's about like here we go.
Now we got it.
Here's our villain, y'all. You ready? So we meet him at the beginning, and he wants to understand the DNA of these giant strawberries, to harvest them, to propagate them throughout the earth so that they can feed millions all across the whatever. But really, he's a guy he's a fucked up dark geneticist who is understands what's coming and is trying to position himself so that he can harvest the DNA of the monster to create like superhuman giant race.
Right.
That he wants to, and so we get that classic like, oh, this shit got weird, where like the weird guy Pierce who's like, let's eat more strawberries, but at the end of the movie is like, hooked up to a machine, trying to like transform into a giant, and his head gets all distended.
It's like, he's got like a eyeballs kind of growing.
Yeah.
And he's like,
and then he's the monster that becomes the like Act 3 monster, and by then The Rock has bonded with his
the
ex-military friend.
And then they have that arm clasp moment, but the hand is like
giant,
so big, and kind of gets it.
So it's a movie. Okay, so our monster is oh, I went right into the danger zone. Did I get it so hot? Was that so
That's
obnoxiously?
You can't help but be excited. Yeah.
The monster is never a monster at all. Just a misunderstanding for sure. Strawberries share 79% DNA, 74% DNA with humans, but 90% with the monster because of its aggregate form. It's not evil, Mr. Rock. It's just science.
That's a line for sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was never a monster after all. It was a misunderstanding. And that's the thing, is that the monster is like trying to, it's unsure of its creation. It's obviously angry and like confused and is like trying to like go home and be here, but it's like being attacked and stuff, and is like trying to get to the Rock,
yes,
who is confused because it's such a distended, gross-looking thing, but then is realizing, like, I'm just trying to communicate to you, man, and remember that we gotta, what happened to me? And then he gets that moment of, like, levity that he needed, the Rock needed, that he has been riddled with all this guilt, and then he has the guilt by seeing this guy and what the creation he became.
Yes.
But then he gets the moment when he most needs it, when he's like, I forgive you. The monster forgives him, and that's one of our cry moments.
We're gonna cry there.
That's one of our cry moments.
I'm gonna throw something out here, and maybe this is we move past it quickly because it's a bad idea, or maybe this blows everybody's mind.
Okay.
We love to borrow off of existing IP.
Mm-hmm.
We love to retell old stories.
Mm-hmm.
We being, the movie studio making this blockbuster. We're doing modern giant myth. Is this a Jack and the Beanstalk story where it's about, like, it's a weird, fucked up, dark retelling, like, that's the metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
It's about, like, some futuristic, like, beanstalk thing that allowed us to go up into the heavens, and Rock is part of the, like, military group that goes up there. The friend does whatever our equivalent is of, like, stealing the golden egg or whatever, and so he gets transformed and whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you're talking about. I like a loose metaphor. I know they did
yeah.
make Jack and the Beanstalk as a
we're
live
not
action
doing
thing.
that.
We're not doing that.
I'm not doing that.
But I like that I want that allows for the circle arm cross outside the theater of, like, I mean, if you really,
It's
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah.
I do think everyone's favorite story, Jack and the Beanstalk. Yes, whoa. Poggers, fuck yes. Great. I think that's in there somewhere. It's in there somewhere that we've got this sort of,
yes.
I think, like the elevator to the heavens.
That's
that
the thing.
brings,
like
whatever that initial
it's a gate to a world that we shouldn't be privy
There's
to.
some like dark portal
Yeah.
that they've fucked with as a secret U.S. military operation.
We've noticed that there's been wormhole activity out inside the extra quadrant. Like,
Yeah.
should we send our best men?
And it's Project Beanstalk, and the thing
Yes,
they build,
yes,
they build
Project
this like giant
Is
elevator.
the movie called Project Beanstalk all of a sudden now?
I mean,
or is
maybe
it
it's
still
called
agriculture?
the Rock and the Beanstalk? I don't know.
Rock and the Beanstalk?
I don't know.
Beanstalk. Okay, well we're I feel like we're also
But something about
free-forming
like
right
this
now.
giant fruits and stuff does feel like Jack and the Beanstalky too in its way. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like yeah.
When does he learn it's his friend is this monster? Midpoint?
That feels like the big midpoint. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget we need the word quantum. 100%.
Yes, quantum is definitely.
Absolutely. The Beanstalk is a quantum elevator to the Sorry.
No, we learn about Project Beanstalk maybe when he's talking to his friend at the Pentagon.
Yeah, we
right?
get flashbacks early. Oh, that could even be. Yeah, that could be. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah.
It. Yes.
We learn about Project Beanstalk. We hear the word quantum.
Yeah.
Then, okay, here's the thing. I think in this Dark Night of the Soul zone is where we're gonna get the apology Do we get it here where it's like the I'm so sorry for whatever I did to you, I'm so sorry, and then it's the like I forgive you tear moment, and then it's suddenly from the deepest, darkest place they team up for the third act. That feels like the place for it, right?
Love that.
What is the all is lost for The Rock? What has happened? Did he lose? Did his
Well, we got to figure out
family
what
die?
this family stuff is. Yeah. I don't think they can die. I think it's possible that his ex-wife can die, but it seems like they're supposed to get back together.
Could
How
the
about-
stepfather?
That's immediately what I was about to pitch.
Right.
Ex-wife, here's the family dynamic that we're setting up here. Ex-wife, regular daughter, his daughter,
Yep.
and lovable, like has a great relationship with one of her parents. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like there's a dad or a mom of his ex-wife who wants them to get back together, who just loves him, who's such a big fan of The Rock. By the way, this just to be clear, this is The Rock. This is not Dwayne The Rock Johnson plays somebody. This is The Rock. But you know what I mean?
Yes.
That character's gonna die.
Yes.
Like trying to set up someone who we love more than the ex-wife.
I think in our big third act moment, so we're saying so it's the family friend that wants them to get back together that dies.
I think that's a good big death.
Yeah. And is that person
And there's gotta be a
is that
piece
person
of-
like with The Rock for most of the journey? Like he goes to save the people.
Yeah,
and then,
maybe,
like,
and he get in like you just missed him type of vibe. Like they got evacuated, but he's
Right.
here with the mother-in-law or whoever.
Yes.
This is fun to think of. Yeah, do not underestimate Hollywood's ability to unnecessarily kill off female characters from male character development. That's what I'm thinking
That's
here.
true.
Is that we've got like, so who's a beloved older character actress comedian, who we can sort of like pair up with The Rock for the ride. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
That's
then,
yes. 100%.
and he's in love with the daughter.
Yep.
And his daughter, it's like a multi-generational female family that is all the like objects of The Rock.
And it's still kind of servicing the male character
All
far
of
as
it,
that.
all of them,
Well,
all
yeah,
three of these
because
women.
because in that way it's also like it's making him seem like, well, even if he's doing all this despite the fact that his ex doesn't even know he's doing it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a
yeah,
level
yeah,
of like,
yeah,
man,
yeah.
isn't he a great guy for saving his mother-in-law? But there's like a former mother-in-law that had like some, and she still like ribs him on occasion,
Yeah.
but plays occasionally into like the way too cliched mother-in-law jokes.
Yeah.
You know, like there's
Yeah.
some of that going
Yeah.
on. Betty White.
Betty White, Whoopi Goldberg. I like Whoopi.
Oh, Whoopi and The Rock.
I like
Yeah.
Whoopi and The Rock.
And that's
so
a
then who's
sad.
his-
Yeah, and that's a sad because she's got like, and Whoopi could have like a real tough love kind of vibe with him too. Like you could see. Well, I think either her or Betty White, like in the way, but I like Whoopi saying what she thinks, and then The Rock having no choice but to obviously listen. Like
Yeah.
she's the one person that can
She
kind of like
gets to speak
call
the
him on
truth.
his shit. Yeah.
I like Whoopi, and our romantic lead is like Janelle Monáe, and they have zero chemistry. It's just like you don't believe a second of it.
Right. Which doesn't matter in the third act because then it's just like,
'Cause
again,
they're
if we're
not-
just
they're separated
servicing the
almost
male
the whole
character,
movie.
it's just like, it's an object he needs to save.
Yeah. So he needs to save her and the daughter.
But I wonder if, like, is this our opportunity to start to, like, subvert some of those norms and start to change things in town?
well, we're trying to sell a blockbuster.
Suppose that is what we're writing right now, or outlining.
No, yeah, let's subvert it.
But I think also,
Did it turn down the fan, Chris? Was it almost getting a little too breezy? You're in a jacket.
I'm in a jacket.
I'm gonna leave the fan on.
I'm in a bomber jacket, a bomb-ass jacket.
A bomb-ass bomber jacket
with,
ass
ass pockets.
to spare.
Here's another thing that's going to happen in the third act, which is that the monster, when they team up, he's obviously tortured, right? And this other monster's like improved the formula a little bit, and he is a real like big threat now. And then you almost get this kaiju battle between the two of them. And then our guy is going to lose. Both monsters are going to die, but our monster is going to die and do something that only through that past moment with The Rock is kind of a parallel. It's like
it communicates something.
it's the equivalent of whatever he did to cut the rope. The monster does for himself, or does
Yes,
to The Rock
I
in
like
a way that
that.
like saves him though.
I like that.
Some parallel thing that goes
I like
on
that
there.
a lot. I'd also pitch for our third act that we set up some sort of decommissioned military technology that they were using to fight the potential when they went up the beanstalk. They were in sort of like
It was never tested.
It was never tested.
Yeah.
Or it's been out of commission for like 20 years since we did that mission, but like some weird, Gundam style.
Yes.
Oh, there will be a musical somewhere for sure. How fuckable is the monster? Now that's a very good question.
I think we're going Lady in the Water here. I think we're going like plausible.
I think his friend should be somebody super hot.
Yeah.
Here's my pitch, just based on people who are wildly successful at box office, especially internationally. Here's the friend, the ex-military friend, of an age with The Rock.
Okay.
And I know we did want Tom Cruise running, so maybe this isn't going to work. But I think, like, of an age with The Rock, willing to play a supporting role at this point, but still has a huge international box office draw, I think this is Gerard Butler. I think the monster is played by Gerard Butler.
I see it. I see it. And
White House Down or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
it's Gerard Butler.
Gerard also does a real good, like, I can't tell if it's acting or just like a like way his voice works, but you always get a sense of like, dude could cry any second.
For sure. Oh, I mean, VO, because there's going to be a lot of CGI elements. So
Yeah.
VO, make you cry any second, Gerard Butler. We're talking pure P.S. I Love You payoffs here. You know what I'm saying? This is P.S. I Love You all over this.
CGI de-aged Rock flashback,
Yes.
for sure.
The Rock and,
For
and
sure.
Gerard Butler as like
Yes.
20-year-old soldiers, totally de-aged. We borrow footage of The Rock in WWE, and we have to like de-age Gerard Butler's beard out because he wasn't willing to shave.
The Rock is going. Okay, so then where are these it's a recurring flashback that then I think fully like we get three flashbacks that are like a glimpse at the beginning, a second glimpse where we get to see de-aged, a third one that's like the full execution of like, oh, that's what's been torturing him.
Yes.
And then it also dovetails into like his realization of who the monster is. I think that maybe that's
So
where
that's
the third
near
one
the
is.
midpoint. Great.
The third one is like right before.
Cool. So to set that up even further, I think there should be some sort of parallel to the sacrifice that he's wrestling with in early Act 2, where like, I don't know if it's him and Whoopi or him and the helicopter pilot who brings him out to where Whoopi and his wife, ex-wife live. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Batista's good casting too.
Because at the break into 2, it's that Rock is going to save his ex, just missed him, but he then goes to like the mother-in-law unit essentially to be like, or up the street and Whoopi is around.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well,
I
I'm
like
gonna save you.
I like that like she was at work. So what it has to be is like there was a monster. The initial monster attack happened somewhere that the Rock is.
Yeah.
And he's sort of chasing the trail of the monster attack to the place that the monster is gonna hit next. And he's just behind it. So that attack is like starting as he's getting to. So we're in like Bakersfield as he's like ripping down the 101 to LA where the attack's gonna hit.
You get a great.
Or someone keeps requesting
sequence.
Ohio, so I don't know Ohio geography enough. But like he's ripping down the freeway to Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah. And then we have a racetrack. We have or is that Daytona? Is like.
That's Daytona, Florida.
That's Daytona, Florida. Is there a racetrack in Dayton, or am I completely off?
There might be.
It should be, but if it's going to be a big summer blockbuster set piece where suddenly they're at like a big racetrack, it's got to be Daytona.
Oh, I love the idea. Yes, because we need like gratuitous sports thing. So the idea of like we know the monster's heading to a city and we cut to that city's staple sporting event that's going on.
Yes,
so
right.
Indy 500 maybe?
Yeah.
Here are my pitches. Indy 500.
Yep.
Wimbledon? Or no, Wimbledon's in London. So we would do the US Open
swim, right?
in New York. Which famous monument gets destroyed? That's a good question. So if we do the Indy 500.
Also, we have to, maybe another way to think about this, I like the big sporting event. I'm trying to think of like, what does Monster want? Human that is turned into monster that's coming back and is on a rampage.
What is he doing?
What is he actually trying to get to?
So I do think like he's stumbling for food.
Yeah. Monster is stumbling for
real.
food at the
he,
beginning.
Like, wants food.
Yeah.
And then he's going to their military base or something. Like he's going back to like where because like, maybe he's in like a weird fucked up time cycle.
Dayton Speedway in Ohio.
Dayton Speedway in Ohio.
Okay.
I think this is Vin Diesel. It can't be Vin Diesel. He and The Rock aren't making movies
They
together
aren't,
anymore.
but maybe this is what sells the movie, though, is that you get them
to
cast.
kill The Rock.
Yeah. Well, then if it's just a purely CGI character, then it could still also be they never worked together, and then they could advertise it as like The Rock and Vin are back together, guys. And then suddenly I'm like, well, I gotta go watch that movie, and it's like, but you did a whole thing with like
That's
Brendan Fraser and The Rock, like from Scorpion King.
I'm Just a Random Guy has just suggested something that is absolutely in this movie now.
Yes, Monster uses Washington Monument as a toothpick in a weird off-tone scene. 100%.
I think
Eating
he's
and that's
going
a symbol,
to the,
dude. That's
it's a
fucking
symbol.
symbol of
That's
like,
fucking symbol.
like, oh my god, like
fucking symbol.
the government just like picking their teeth with our fucking wealth.
Killing our soldiers, who
Yeah.
are played for no explained reason by Gerard Butler with a Scottish accent. Why didn't you just get an American guy?
Yeah. The monster.
So
is
I like that he's
picking-
heading towards the Pentagon. Like he's heading towards like where he was deployed from. Maybe I'm sure there's a military base in the area or something.
Yeah.
But like he's headed towards DC. So we start somewhere on the Eastern Coast. We're gonna go through a major sporting event, so we'll have to think about what that is. But he's headed towards. Maybe it's the Masters. I like that.
Yes, he's going to the
Also,
Masters.
because so much stuff films in
you get
Georgia.
and then you get a great joke too of the shot of like, and he's teeing up for the putt, and it's like about to putt, and then a huge footprint.
Yeah.
And then it's suddenly like, you gotta
play it around. You gotta play it where it lives.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this movie, the launch of this movie is set in Georgia. So The Rock lives out in like farmland in Georgia. His ex-wife and daughter and mother-in-law live in Atlanta.
Yep.
Okay, so the inciting incident happens. This is great because you get great tax credits for shooting in Atlanta. They're gonna love.
This
is
is
very
so
smart.
producible.
They're gonna love this.
Yes.
So then the like Act 2 like promise of the premise stuff is the monster like kind of rampaging through like up the eastern seaboard.
Yep.
Through Augusta, Georgia on the day of the Masters. Into DC. Get that Washington Monument toothpick scene.
Yep.
Maybe there's some other thing where he like reaches down into like the Maryland. He's like in Maryland by the sea, and he like reaches down and pulls up like 50 crab traps and just like empties crab traps. I don't know if we're seeing the
And there's
monster
probably
by
a
now,
giant
but, like,
crab in there too.
giant crab
Because
for
there's
sure.
just there's stuff that's happening.
Yeah, because the Earth is responding.
So he's going up to DC to get to the Pentagon, but then along the way passes through Augusta and the Masters. And you get a little putt joke.
Now I haven't looked up the geography here to know where.
But he
Augusta
passes
is.
through a popular golf course tournament in between
It's the Masters
Atlanta and yeah.
and DC. He's
And
headed
DC.
for DC.
Yep. Monster then gets to, so he's trying to get to the Pentagon to basically be like, what have you done to me?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
You made me.
But it's got to be Gerard Butler. You made me. It's like a Scottish kind of thing, right? Like a
Yeah,
it's a
that's
monster
not what
Scot-
that is. You did sort
It's
of like a
Scotland.
Schwarzenegger.
It's got in this. It's got in. It's a. Hey, I gotta think Braveheart. Like they can take our lives,
You made
but they
me.
can never. You made me.
You made me.
You made me. But it's gotta be a
You
little more
got an
monster.
answer for this.
You got
You
an
made
answer
me.
for this. You made me.
Yeah, good.
Okay, good. We found
Right
that.
You made
me accent, but probably like a
parentheses,
lowercase.
V Scottish.
Yes. You made me Scottish. And then they're now throwing.
Is this Shrek? This has become Shrek.
That's true, yeah.
So are we seeing him by now? I think this is too early for You Made Me.
You made me is midpoint, probably.
Oh, I know.
right?
I guess, yeah. We're still all right before midpoint. Yeah. We're on page like 45. We can hear him say, You made me. Okay.
So Whoopi dies, it all is lost, we're thinking.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
She's with him now, right?
She's been with him since because it's Breaking Into Two is like, I gotta go save my ex in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Gets there too late. Like, we get one sequence of getting there, it's too late. Whoopi's on board.
And where is she? Janelle Monáe and the daughter got like evacuated to like a Navy ship or something like that.
You gotta get me through to my mom. You gotta get me through to my mom.
Yeah.
She's still back at the house. Woman, I don't know what to tell you. You gotta get, And he says woman, which is like a little bit, you're like, come on.
Even for just realism's sake, I don't believe that. Come on.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
If you want sci-fi, the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio is where they brought the Roswell UFO debris.
Absolutely. That can be. I mean, if we're
can get
talking
there
tag
eventually.
scene, if we're talking tag scene,
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
there's
for
something there. Which is where is this? We're talking
That's Ohio.
Patterson Air Force, right? Patterson Air Force, Wright brothers.
Oh, this is a great
Yeah.
hit show. Great suggestion from Naomi. When are we using the one fuck that is allowed in this movie? I think
It's when he notices it's his friend, maybe. Or is it a comedic one?
I think it's a comedic one, and I think it's Whoopi's, right?
Right before she dies?
Right before she dies, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. She dies and says, "Ah, fuck." That's what happens.
I think we give her that.
Ah, fuck. And then that's the thing that like the 12-year-old that's in the theater with the parent really remembers.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
Fuck.
the thing I still remember, and I've shared this before, when I saw Jurassic Park in theaters with my dad, I'll never forget. It was, and my dad hadn't really cussed around me before that, and we were watching Jurassic Park, and I must have been so annoying because it's the best movie ever made.
Yeah.
And I was like tugging at his sleeve when it was like, when Ian Malcolm's like, Dino droppings, and I kept tugging his sleeve. I'm like, what is droppings, Dad? What is droppings, Dad? And then I still burned in my head. He turned to me. He's like, it's shit. And then he looked up at the screen again, and I was like, that was like one of the first times he's ever cussed at me, and totally rightfully so, by the way. So that fuck will be a kid being like, oh my gosh, I'm a grown up now.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Where's our little sex thing? Is there gonna be sex in this movie? Any kind of like tasteful nudity? Anything that's
I'm assuming we
is there
get
a flashback?
we just because these are poorly written female characters.
Yeah.
I assume we get like a reunion with The Rock and Janelle Monáe at the end, right?
Yeah. Right.
Do we also want, now here's an option. I mean, so we can have somebody, we haven't talked that much about our villain and what's going on in their world. We'll build that out some.
Yep.
There's also a world where the backstory for Gerard Butler's character includes a love interest. We could set that up and then have like a moment where his wife shows up to plead with the monster, you know?
I like that. That's the maybe new trajectory for the monster when the Pentagon thing bails. He's like trying to get like help, and then they start pulling friggin' bazookas on him, and then he's picking his tooth, being like, "Well, what do I do now?" And then goes to be like, "Sarah."
Yeah. For sure, her name.
Sarah. How's the accent go?
No,
again?
you
It's
nailed
like,
it.
yeah. It's like, they can take our lives. They can never take our
Sarah!
Yeah. Great. Both monsters die, but our friend monster goes out with something poetic having to do with Sarah. And regains something in the process in her eyes.
Yeah.
Like, she may have even, like, the bad pitches, she may have even in a flashback we get from him as he's, like, connecting again, we get a sense of, like, she might have said something like, when they broke up, she's like, "You're a monster!"
Yeah! Yeah!
And then it's...
Yeah!
Yeah.
That's it. This is, by the way, this is our spot for, like, played by a musician crossing over. This is absolutely that.
Yes, right.
But since usually that's like a young pop star ready to like break out. But since we're going like love interest for Gerard Butler in flashbacks, I think it's Elton John. Could be Adele.
Yeah, right. Love interest for Gerard Butler flashback. You're a monster. Breakup moment. I saw a comment that said, "I'm confused. Are you actually going to make this skit?" Obviously, Liam. Yes. Obviously.
We're going to shoot all of this.
We're going to shoot all of this.
No, today, last time we wrote a sketch. Today we're outlining a feature film that we won't write because we won't have to. The outline will speak for itself.
Yes.
And we'll sell it just on the outline.
My feeling is that the link that is being recorded, we send with basically in an email to Universal Studios that just says your next summer blockbuster and the link.
Yeah.
And then they get
And we obviously have their email because of all of our back and forth about July 6th Park.
You need to add post-credit scene into the outline. Absolutely.
Oh, of
You're
course.
right. Is there okay, can we think about a big twist? The big twist is that he's the monster.
Is that
the friend is the monster. That's one big twist.
We've
right?
got a big twist that the friend's the monster. We've got like the villain reveal of him trying to harvest the DNA to become the monster himself.
And we realize that at the All Is Lost, he's the one that kills Whoopi somehow, and tied to the something having to do with him becoming the monster is what kills Whoopi, is my guess.
Yeah. He has to succeed in like majorly injuring Gerard Butler to extract the DNA.
Yep.
And that can be like, now we're turning around and understanding Gerard Butler as he's like almost dying and gets revived. Oh, this is important to remember too.
Matt Damon. Matt Damon, yes.
I think Matt Damon is just like the scientist who administers like who injects our villain with the like super serum that makes him the monster.
Yeah, and then there's a little comedic moment where
Yeah.
it's just like he's putting it in there, and then either it's reflected in the way of like, "Ow, you hit the nerve." Like, sorry, sir. But then
Matt Damon
just catches the camera enough, like, "Sorry, sir. You see the hole?"
And I think he gets to give like a slight, like a little bit of a warning, like an important, like, "Are you sure you want to do this?"
Yeah. And then is he like, because he's a star, is it like stunt casting just for the thing of like, you think he's gonna come back, doesn't come back around?
Doesn't come back.
Yeah.
Yes, Ramirez Art Jam suggestion here. If this is sort of a dark retelling of Jack and the Beanstalk, then our post credits is a setup for another fairy tale retelling, dark, and we're building out the dark fairy tale.
And this one's gonna take the monster universe that didn't go with the mummy.
The mummy.
Remake. Yeah. This one's gonna work.
Hey, thanks, Smiley Kyle for the hype. Why do I keep reading it as Smiley Kyle? I'm Kylie. I'm so
I like
sorry.
that you write in what you were saying. Why do I keep reading it as, and you were gonna say the wrong thing? You said it right. You flipped your brain.
Oh no.
You exploited the. Maybe he like rewrote some code in your mind, Jack. So thank you, Smiley
Kyle.
Nice. Hype. The okay, great. Something or villain become monster kills Whoopi. We have Matt Damon administers the shot, right?
Yeah.
To the and is this in the Dark Knight of the Soul, or is this like at the beginning of Act 3? Like now he's fully. Like, is that happening while the rock is storming, or did this happen as? I think the monster's fully formed while the rock is at his lowest.
Yeah, so maybe Matt Damon administers the shot right
Kind of
before the All Is Lost.
Yeah.
Pushes us
right.
It. Or the villain like is doing something destructive. Maybe it's better that the villain is like doing something super destructive without this, and then like at the start of Act 3 becomes the monster. That feels like the more like.
Right,
or is
like
this
is
the
the
Hightower surprise.
Is this the thing where he's like getting what he needs, but is doing it through extreme ways?
Yeah. Like we think he's still like we might like. Where the plot is pretending like he could still be a good guy, but here's where he like kills the monster in a way that goes way too far and is
it's the like he's got on like a friggin' mech suit.
Yeah.
Kind of coming out to be like, stop right there, monster, as if like, oh, dude's coming to save the fucking day.
Yeah.
And then he goes up there and like slices a like hand off, and then like is really
syringe.
fucking like messy about it. That's a little too much gore.
A little too much gore is there for sure.
And then he gets the syringe of the juices and stuff, and then in that whole thing is so thoughtless about the environment and like it's all about that. And then he kills Whoopi.
That's so good. So his mech suit needs to like kind of be spraying fire everywhere.
Yeah.
Like he's just running roughshod.
And it's this, and his mentality of like, how could you? What are you doing? It's still kind of with his pathos of like, is that the word pathos of like what you believe and
Yeah.
Well, his like his theology, I guess, around the idea of like, I'm helping people, but you got to think big picture, not just singular.
And keep in mind, his motivating thing is still on some level ending our food crisis.
Yes.
Yeah, you almost want to like. I would want to like when I'd rewatch this with a friend on the couch. I'd pause it like at the moment, like full spray. Whoopi just got shot, and it's like just remember this guy was like that's the check into the fun. You're the fun friend on the couch. It's like just remember this movie's about food waste.
And that's where I think like the plot is telling us that Gerard Butler's the villain, and then right before this scene, The Rock realizes that Gerard Butler's a good guy, and the new villain emerges because this scientist who has been like advocating for mostly seemingly positive things is suddenly about to go way too far.
Yes.
Oh, who's the comedic relief? So far, mostly Whoopi. We're gonna get a lot of jokes out of Whoopi. I have one or two big picture questions for us to consider. And
Yep.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom.
Okay.
You can either keep steering or
take a little time out and
take a little
talk to
time.
people. That'd be
take a
fun.
little time out and Q&A.
Yeah.
Here are some questions to consider.
Yep.
Wait, what were? Wait, I had some good questions.
I was on the heels of this is a movie about food waste and villain showing up in mech suit.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you got to go pee and then
Maybe
think about it.
I'll pee and I'll think about it.
Yeah.
You can click over if you click full cam. You can take a little
Full
take a
cam.
little breather.
Full cam Jack.
Yeah.
Awesome. Look at that. And then we got the screen up. Great. Enjoy.
Thank you.
We're going to talk nothing but shit behind your back.
Big question.
Oh, that's great. Sometimes it's meditative. Just kind of clear the body out. Think about food waste. I think that's some of the best. And again, sorry if this is on a 30-second delay with questions and comments, but let's just say hi for a second. This is fun for us. We're trying story building together. Apologies if the head goes down a little too much on these on this outline phase, but it's so fun to fuse our minds. And obviously, we're all going to be splitting the money when it comes to this thing getting made. I feel like Tom Cruise absolutely will be running in this. Maybe that has to do with post-credits in somewhat. Otter Disappointment asks, don't you get tired of Jack's bubbly personality and handsome smile all the time? So off-putting, right? Oh my gosh. Gregarious, kind, handsome. Nothing better for fodder about talking behind someone's back, really. Chris, do something July 6th Park related before he gets back. Quick. Here's what I'll do. We're shooting a sketch, guys. We're shooting a July 6th Park sketch. So deal with that. That's dropping soon. John Williams involved in this. If John Williams were involved in this movie, it would elevate the whole thing. That to me is always like a stamp of like, if this is a summer blockbuster and John Williams is doing the music for it, we're now in like kind of a legitimacy side. Smiley, Kyle! Thank you. Thank you for keeping it up or for telling us to keep it up. Let's all keep it up. You know? We're in this together. Hey, Chris. Hey, it's your boy, Chris. You know, as just some random guy, that meant a lot. I feel like maybe it's this ring light that's helping me glow a little bit, but you know. If this is the start of a fairy tale cinematic universe, is Jack going to portray all the fairy tale Jacks? If that happens and you portrayed all the fairy tale Jacks, you'd be career.
It'd be a big boon for me.
Real big boon. Yeah.
I remembered the thing I wanted to ask that I think is going to unlock a lot for us, but I don't know where we're at with
Also,
other stuff.
unfortunate son during a montage, especially in military stuff.
Oh, yeah. Flashback
Great.
to them in a helicopter approaching the beanstalk.
Yes. Yeah.
Here's the big question that I had. If this is a vague Jack and the Beanstalk adaptation, I think a thing that's going to unlock a ton for us.
I just learned about that I can copy and paste stuff. This is changing the game all of a sudden. We could have just copied.
Bioengineering and nanoscientific technology and logic quantum state.
That's incredible,
Perfect,
Mitch.
Mitch.
Yeah.
The big question for me, and here's the formula of what I think it will unlock for us when we unlock it.
Yep.
What is the golden egg? What did they, or the golden harp, or whatever it is that they steal? I think there should be something that, like, their mission was to go retrieve this thing. The Rock sacrifices Gerard Butler to get this thing. When they get this thing, it's like put under lock and key somewhere in the Pentagon. That's what Gerard Butler is after. He doesn't get it then. When they team up, they have to go and steal it from the Pentagon in the beginning of Act 3 so that they have this weapon that will help them defeat freaky monster guy Pierce, who is also after that thing because it's super. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think that's the big final unlock. Thanks, Mitch.
Oh, there we go. There was a lot of steps to copy, but that was worth more than typing. The thing that they're going to get seems to be,
and it could be full MacGuffin. There is like a world where this is just, it's called the Golden Harp, and we don't really fully understand what it is or what it means until the third act, and then
it has to do it in some ways. I'm wondering if it has to do with how the villain becomes a monster as well. It's his own version. Like, does he need it and the blood of the person that was on the other side, or is it just touching that object can turn you into that thing, and that's why our guy was the monster in the portal?
Or somehow like returning that object will undo stuff.
Right.
If it's like the equivalent of a golden harp, and they like, it's something that has to like, you have to play a like musical, you have to like enter a code.
That does get our musical scene.
That does get our big
That does get our musical
number.
Scene.
Yeah, what is it, real quick, what is it in Jack and the Beanstalk? Is it a golden egg or a golden harp? What does he steal?
It's a golden egg, I think.
He steals a golden egg?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm working on it. If we're going full Jack and the Beanstalk, though, there's also a zone of like the I wonder if there's something about like, go with me for a second.
I'm with you.
The thinking about
For
like
one whole second.
With me for 37 seconds.
Okay.
It's the equivalent of, if we're doing beanstalk metaphor, and beanstalk is this thing that goes all the way into the sky because it's a plant that can grow. We're doing the sci-fi version of going up into the sky.
Yeah.
Something from the sky that's connected has grown / opened, portal kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So in theory, whatever that thing is, and it's Operation Beanstalk and everything, they get up there, and this object is like a pod of some kind.
It's a golden egg. That's where pod makes so much sense.
Pod makes a lot of sense.
And the fact that we're doing like food metaphors.
Yeah.
It's
and
a
then
pod.
it's a question of then like what's in the pod, and when it opens, what's going on. And a lot of speculation could be that like whoever has this pod, and then the pod opens, and it's like, is it a bomb from the other realm? There's like a big question mark around this pod. And then maybe it is like, is it another alien that's come to like be the reckoning? Is it like just an embryo and like an egg that's what he's trying to extract and get all the like essence of that thing out of? They stole the egg of the monster. That doesn't track fully because our monster isn't that guy. But
No, but I do think like there can be like godlike alien other monsters that are sort of just like at the edges of this story.
Yeah. That there's, and we don't, do we want to go full Deus Ex Machina of like something coming down and just being like, well, I'm just going to fix everything and then take off?
We probably don't.
But that could be like a post-credits type of vibe.
But I do like the idea that like returning this thing, like that our final act, like that the big thing he has to do at the end of this movie is put the egg back.
Right. And maybe it's like,
if the egg,
maybe it is. Yeah. Maybe it's like the like monster. The monster friend.
Yep.
Kills main monster guy, mortally wounded in the process, not dead yet.
Okay. Gerard's
not dead yet, but has redeemed himself as not a monster in the eyes of Sarah.
Yep.
Then realizing he needs to return it.
Elton John.
Then returning it back to where it came from. Only he can kind of have the power to get up in there, but he doesn't, for whatever reason, needs the rock, and like he is holding the rock with the pod, and then they together are going up this beanstalk thing, or to the like tesseract channel or whatever, and then in a final moment, like the rock helps get him over the final edge
because he's so strong he can lift a monster.
Yeah, exactly. And then he helps lift the monster in some way, helps him along the way, and then there's a final goodbye as like he dissipates and takes the egg back.
And the portal closes and the beanstalk somehow like erupts in a column of fire.
Yeah.
Okay, I love this, and I think our explanation is that the egg is, because this feeds our like
Stosh asks, "Is this like an actual serious pitch or a half joke? I'm so confused." We are too.
Here's
we're in the zone. We're in the zone.
We're
of,
in that
like,
space where like we're gonna try to really make it work. So we're following bits. Thank you, music. We're following bits, but
Wow.
our brains require that we actually connect all the dots and we justify it as a full feature. So
Yes.
it is 100% serious. Here's the egg is, and this feeds our Guy Pearce villain. The egg is an alien seed pod, like a like essentially what is this weird like molten DNA mixer that can make anything giant. But it's like
it's a catalyst.
It's a catalyst that allows, so like a little bit of it, so it was stolen, it was put at the Pentagon, and a little bit of it like leaked out through some shitty sources of people who were supposed to be protecting and whatever, and that's how we got the giant strawberries in the first place.
And a commentary on, don't want that stuff. You gotta have it in the right hands to not let the stuff leak.
But Guy Pearce is gonna argue that like this is the thing that can save humanity if we like get this magical alien egg that will allow our food to be exponentially more bountiful. But it's important that I be the one. Like, that's what makes him evil. His point is great. Of like, yeah, you know what? They should let that alien pod.
Yes.
Yeah, they should give the alien
and
pod to
that's
the
a
farmers.
good Guy Pearce.
Like, why wouldn't they give the alien pod to the farmers is the thing that, like, we're leaving the movie and someone next to us is saying, like, that Guy Pearce
Got
has some
point.
good points.
If you really thought about it, it's kind of Jack the Beanstalk.
Yeah.
And that end tag
No,
is
I know,
kind
dude,
of
that's why the
Rumpelstiltskin.
fucking movie's called Rockin' the Beanstalk. What is
I thought it was called agriculture.
We gotta use that Pentagon pod.
Oh, can we see the outline again?
To give
Yep.
to
We never
the-
switched back over. We've written a lot of
Oh,
other stuff.
sorry.
It's this one? No, it's this one.
There we go.
Boom. We're all in the room for this creative meeting.
Yes.
So I'm going to make a list of all of this. Listen, if we sell this, the only people who get a cut of ours are the people who donated to Super Chat.
Yes, exactly.
We'll cut you.
That is and that's not true. In the
That's
sense
not
of like, don't
feel
pressure. That was a joke.
That was a joke.
That was a joke. No need to super chat. This is all of ours. This is open source movie making, is what this is. But that is also a good sign that guys. I mean, right?
Something
Could be
magic is
made.
happening, right?
Could be made.
Okay, so
Do we
we've
wanna-
solved what the egg is. I think it's important in the flashbacks that Gerard Butler knows what they're doing is fucked up, and The Rock is sort of blindly following.
Yes.
Right?
And his
Gerard
flashback
Butler
one
is a
and
voice
the
of like, yo, we're basically like we're stealing from aliens. We're like messing with the gods in some way.
yeah. We're just getting flashback one. Just flashes of some fucked up military sci-fi stuff, right? Then we're getting another flash somewhere in here. We're getting a second flashback.
Of like the ascent
Gerard
of the
Butler,
Beanstalk,
yeah,
and
Gerard Butler is like
naysaying.
is against this. The Rock sees the bigger mission, right? And then
Oh wait, music. That's not exactly how we framed it.
but I mean it's written in
Sorry.
it's written
They
there
got
now.
us.
Yeah,
They got us.
Yeah. Damn. But I got to say some good ideas in your music, really good. Really good.
What are we missing? Should we go back to our original list?
I'm curious let's go now. I think we just need some pepper. I think we got our bones. I think we got some of our muscle. I think get us into the pepper and like let's make this sillier. Let's get into now like the stuff where we need like I think a good post-credit scene will be fun to figure out like what is the larger story we're trying to
So I
push.
do think the elements for me of the post-credit scene is something that brings us back to the broader interdimensional alien traveler world, and something that sets up another fairy tale type of thing.
I like a Tom Cruise in that tag thing.
Yes, I
Getting
also
him
think
running.
after a whole movie of all of these female characters being super shitty and secondary, I think this movie would be like, but
gotta
next
balance the
movie's gonna be the
scales.
Janelle Monáe movie,
Right.
and then they never make that movie.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a yeah, is it a I'm just trying to think of where to get Tom Cruise running because it feels like that was a
Oh, sure.
specific.
Cameo from a singer on the soundtrack. I mean, we've got Elton John all over this
Yes,
thing.
exactly. Yes.
We don't really have a mentor figure. We do have political
We got a mentor.
overreaching
Yeah, we have
mentors.
a mentor. Like Whoopi could be a mentor.
Whoopi's
character for sure.
Whoopi's a mentor
She's
figure.
an emotional mentor.
No music. It's not exactly working. My first Hollywood movie producer. Yeah, here we go. Everybody's in. What's other stuff? Do we feel like we have two good cries? Yeah, we have The Rock and Gerard Butler putting their differences aside, and we've got Whoopi's death.
Yes. Guys, I'm gonna say like whatever the hand clasp equivalent of like the like Monster and Rock teaming up to take out bigger monster moment is like I get goosebumps thinking about that.
You're crying then.
Well, that's more of like cries of like, oh man, thank you, blockbuster movie Summers.
Yes.
That like you kind of earned that. Also,
So I think The Rock. So one thing we don't have a good thing is
Chris and Jack are the Stan Lee cameo. We gotta find our cameo.
we'll get in there. We'll get in
Yeah.
there.
I want to be a mocap monster of some kind.
Yeah, you can be Gerard Butler's body
I
double.
want to be Gerard Butler's
grow that beard out.
Body, yeah.
I think so. We don't have a car chase. I think the obvious one is The Rock picks up Whoopi, and they're in their truck, sort of like navigating the crazy fallout of Gerard Butler's rampage.
But they have to. The thing is, though, that's too, in a way, like, like they are. If they're in the aftermath, they're not being necessarily like chased. You know, it's like what is forcing them to like. You could hit the brakes a little bit and like chill out, let it do its rampage a little bit. But I guess it's like to get to the city before the monster does. Like we got to get to Atlanta before the monster does, and then now we're like steering and whirving beneath its feet, or have we not seen fully the monster yet?
We're still beneath the feet. Yeah.
So we can, So the monster is a presence, but it's like kind of still up in the clouds a little bit, so we don't fully see its face.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's our car chase. Great.
We can also get another one later. I think we need
Music. This isn't going well for you. This isn't the way.
music.
No, that's not
sorry.
how you, no.
Another.
That's not
You
how
need to find another avenue for
different
this.
thing. Yeah. Giant apple on the loose. The idea of like also the bomb with the fruit. That's a good way to kill the bad monster at some point. The greedy.
Oh, bomb in the fruit.
Yeah.
When
bomb
he
in the
becomes a monster, he needs to go back to the fruit, so
Yes.
he goes towards the Rock's farm.
Yeah, and the Rock is like, filled his. I'm trying to find a good pun. I went with napalm. Trying to think palm something. Is there a fruit or a vegetable that has palm in it? I'm just thinking like, just palm.
Like palm oil.
Palm tree, palm oil.
Pomegranate.
Pomegranate.
It's a pomegranate. It's a
napalmogranate.
napalmogranate.
Yes, yes, we found it. I don't know if it's a normal thing to be able to like grow pomegranate out in
No, probably not.
Georgia, but no, it's
But
called a
that's fine.
napalmogranate.
But that's something we'd set up at the beginning, that like he's a weird farmer. That's why they don't respect his opinion, not because he's ex-military. Because
Yes.
all right, dude. Yeah, let's take all the advice from the fucking guy who's trying to grow pomegranates in Georgia.
And in a way, it might be like a little callback to like the. Did you see what is it, Minari?
Oh, I didn't.
It's really good.
I haven't watched any movies this year because I had a baby.
That makes sense. But it also might be the big studio's way of saying like, hey, we kind of we're winking at Minari, where Minari is about a farmer that's growing kind of like crops that aren't necessarily for the region, and that's what it's like. And he's getting the niche, but that like this is their movie big studio's way of obviously tying those franchises together, like the franchise of Minari.
Love it. Palm fruit is straight up a fruit, but also cherry bomb.
Oh, cherry bomb is great.
Cherry bomb.
Napalm wine.
Napalmogranate or cherry bomb. I mean, both so good.
Is there an apple bomb of some kind too? Like
there's an apple bong. Is that what you're thinking?
There's a doctor in my neighborhood growing up, Dr. Applebaum. So that would be a character's name.
That's
that
what
would be
it is.
some
Yeah,
sort of like
yeah.
winky thing.
Make a cherry bomb or an apple bomb. says
Grenade
Stargirl.
actually comes from the French word for pomegranate.
Well, holy shit, we're using that.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust it, but I'm gonna trust it fully that that's a fact.
One thing that we haven't set up here that we should add to this outline
Yeah.
is, what is the Janelle Monáe and daughter, like, B story that we're cutting away to? She gets evacuated to a Navy ship. She's going to have an important piece of information. It's probably going to be...
It's something. It's always
about
about the Rock. It's gonna always be
it's
about
like-
the service of the male character.
So she hears something important about the location of the golden egg. And she knows because of something that The Rock said in his PTSD nightmares. Do you know what I mean? There's gonna be she remembers something that he was like, oh, the friggin' Gerard, don't get the egg.
Yeah. Locker 7-23. Locker 7-23.
Yeah. Okay, so
That is the truth. Grenade actually comes from the French word for pomegranate.
I love
Guys,
it.
you can't make it up. Name pomegranate.
Bart
says, what about Dr. Hugh Man? Dr. Hugh Man.
they're on like a Navy evacuation ship. And she like spots an old colleague of The Rock's. Like we've got one more person from this
Yeah. And he's got a real fucked up burn. from the event.
Yeah.
But like the kind of burn that's like a sci-fi burn. The kind of burn that's like
Yeah, how'd that happen?
That looks like
How did
a
it cauterize
coral-
itself
Yeah.
as it
And it like swelled a little bit. Like, you know, it's like kind of like a little bit of a huge ear where you're just like,
Yeah.
something has to do with like that. Frozen fruit helps them cross the ocean. That's fun. Have the post-credit scene free up all the intellectual property for use in public domain. I like that a lot. The idea of like a studio being like, hey, and just so you know,
This is yours.
memeify this all you want.
What's the name of the incredible New Zealand actress from Hunt for the Wilder People, and she's in all of Taika's movies?
Yeah.
Rachel
Badass
or something?
female
Yeah.
actor, right?
She's gonna be the other colleague of The Rock and Gerard Butler's because
Yeah.
I want it to be like, yeah, it's a U.S. military operation.
Right, but
Nobody's
none of them are US. Yeah,
nobody's
exactly.
American. What's her name? Rachel. It's Rachel something?
Chat might know.
Help me
a
out.
bit.
You know what I'm talking about. She's in Ragnarok. She's in Hunt for the Wilder People. She's a voice in Soul.
Have you ever seen the
You know what I'm
scars
talking
from a lightning strike? Looks kind of sci-fi.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
that's interesting, and could tie to like how the like portal. There's probably a lot of lightning in the flashback. Some sort of. Also, just for the clarity of that flashback moment, like what they were actually doing with
Yeah.
Operation Beanstalk.
Yeah.
Was it that something formed?
I think
or
something
they
formed.
it?
Something formed.
And why did it form? Was it like in the giant world, or just like, are they ready for these gifts?
I think it's that. I
Yeah.
think these interdimensional beings show up open to the idea of granting us these gifts,
Yeah.
and our like militaristic fucked up approach makes them want to bail, and then
Yeah.
we steal it anyways. You know what I mean?
Kind of an arrival thing.
A very arrival. Rachel House. Yes. This is Rachel House.
Naomi's pitch, I love.
What
What
is
if
this?
Dwayne The Rock does a bad British accent this whole movie?
Oh, I like the idea that it's
It's a
specifically an
character.
international.
Yeah, it's an international. Well, then it's like, yeah, because then suddenly it's like this is a global event that like obviously the U.S. would decide like we're taking the helm
Yeah,
here.
it's one of those
We
like
need to, like,
vague
get the-
military operations where it's like, oh, but
Yeah.
it's allied
I'm The
forces.
Rock, and I came here to also be Gerard. Yeah.
So I'm gonna amend this to The Rock is ex-international military.
Fractal scarring is what it's called.
Fractal scarring, yes.
Yeah, so Rachel House has fractal scarring.
Do I want to Google that, or is it gonna be too messed up?
Let's keep it imagination for right now.
I'm gonna look,
Okay.
but I won't make anyone else look. fractal scarring.
Well, I think everybody's Googling it now, probably, and we're seeing the same results. What do we got? Oh, loading.
I'll also Google fractal scarring Rachel House just to see if that turns anything up for us. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
This is right.
That's wild. Whoa, that's wild.
That is wild. Hold on.
That's
Let's
from
take a look
lightning,
at that.
huh? Hang on.
Yeah, I've seen this before. It makes like a cool leaf and tree type of pattern. Like this.
Yeah, fractal scarring from the event.
So picture like a beautiful tree on Rachel House's face. And that's sort of like, because the whole movie is about nature metaphors, you know? It's about like, can we become one with nature? Do we deserve to be one with nature? Are we like worthy of the alien's gift? I showed you. It was just a flash.
It's also an element of like, wow, that's cool.
That's crazy looking.
I think it's also an element of we get into the fruit kind of stuff too, where it's like the like, oh, you know, our man's approach to like, do we deserve what the world is giving us, what the universe is giving us, the fruits, the vegetables, things like that.
So I think to just plant it in our head, the next movie in the fairy tale dark universe is Janelle Monáe and Rachel House as sidekick built in. That B story gets built out into a dark retelling of a fairy tale.
The stream is starting to stutter. Let's close the other deals.
Might be that. Might just be my computer overheating.
Great.
So we're trying to figure out, I think the formula for our post-credit scene is Janelle Monáe and or Rachel House and or the daughter, who we haven't talked about much, proves themselves worthy in some way of this gift from the gods, and therefore becomes the Little Mermaid or what, like
By the end of the movie you're talking about.
This is our post-credit scene.
Yes, got it.
Is
yes.
like, oh, we cut to the daughter and she goes back to that golden egg, and now it opens itself to the daughter, and it gifts, and her face like glows, and we know like, holy shit, is she about to become
Rumpelstiltskin?
Rumpelstiltskin?
She then has the ability to. It's a Midas touch thing. It's a problem. Like she now can spin things to gold and.
Which one's that?
Isn't
That's great.
Rumpelstiltskin the like?
He lives forever. And you say his name?
What's the one that spins the straw into gold? I thought
is that Rumpelstiltskin?
I thought that's Rumpelstiltskin. Yeah.
If that's Rumpelstiltskin, that's perfect.
And then it kind of ties into Midas touch stuff. The stream stuttering issue has been fixed.
Boom.
Excellent. I liked also earlier pitches of like someone holding up a rod to get purposefully struck by lightning to lightning.
Mm-hmm.
That's Rumpelstiltskin.
That's
yes.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Yes.
Okay. I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
And receives the power of weaving things into gold.
Just like, yeah. But yeah, and the question remains, didn't Gerard Butler take the egg back to the other dimension? We had that happening at the end as he
it's like a
disappears.
seed that's left behind.
So it has properties. Is this maybe the spillover that like was in question, that's like, we need to be using this thing because clearly the spillover turned that, you know, when it was in the Pentagon, it was being...
Yeah. So she finds a seed. She's like, they're back on the Rock's property.
Mm-hmm.
We're back finally on his farm. The world is saved.
Yeah.
We're relaxing with some Coronas.
Yeah.
She wanders out into the field and picks up a overlarge strawberry seed.
Seed, not a strawberry.
Yeah,
like
seed, like it fell off the side.
Yeah.
She picks up an overlarge strawberry seed, and it like sort of opens itself to her, and we just see like the flash. She like something starts to glow with her, and we see like things around her start to
turn gold,
and we're out.
And then we're out there. And she's in a field of straw. Like there's a bale of hay.
It's straw. It's wheat that has like, you know, whatever he was building. Hey, Smiley Kyle, thanks again.
With a hot dog.
Thank you.
We are starting to get hungry. I'll speak for myself.
Yeah. Well, hey, we've gone for 2 hours and 15 minutes. I feel like we're in the zone where we're wrapping this outline up.
By the way, we're wrapping this outline up, but we should
it
mention
clear.
we do a post stream whenever we do a live stream on YouTube. We're gonna do a Patreon post stream
Little after party
that
hang.
y'all are invited to if you sign up for the Patreon.
The post is already up in our Patreon.
So if you joined right now, you would get the post and you would still be able to join the Patreon stream at any time. So we're going to do an after-party Patreon thing. So come check that out. Can we get agriculture trending? For sure.
Now is the time.
Okay, so post-credit scene. We're at the Rock's farm. Their daughter, whose like name we haven't realized the significance of, is like... She's been called Stella. She's been called Stella.
Yeah.
And we find out at the end of the movie, her name's Rumpelstella? What?
Yeah. Or she's really good at the stilts. For whatever reason. She's like a little kid stilter, you know?
She wanders out among the straw.
Yeah. Is straw just like dried, like super dried wheat or something? What is it? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, yeah. Well, also in the post-apocalyptic world that we were just in for a little bit, might have dried out the crops. He wasn't home to water them.
Yeah, so his wheat fields turned to straw. And he's like, "Oh, this is gonna be tough."
And then he's like, "I'll never be able to turn this into a cash crop." And then
she touches it, it's turning into gold.
Yep. And then you hear him in the background being like, "Yeah, I need to get a car checkup. Midas, you around?" I am. Midas is the place where you take your car to get. That's a chain, right? Where you can get car repairs and stuff. Midas, or is that a tire brand?
It's both. It's all of that.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is important. The daughter is also secretly half alien, half egg, because the Rock, by going up there, his sperm was mutated.
DNA, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get that little thing that just kind of says like, he mentions in a heartfelt way when he's like reminiscing to Whoopi about how he cares for his daughter.
Yeah.
He can like in a longing way be like, I was at the hospital for. Like we were at the hospital for like 20 hours in labor waiting for her. Like she was such a big girl.
She was
above her weight class.
Yeah.
Like what? Like
99th percentile height and weight.
Yeah. Because just a little bit of. But also you might.
Yeah, she's also like 7'5". 12 years old, about 7'5". Okay, where's that? Where do we plant the seed?
Also, she's been clinging some stuffed animal the whole time, and we get a flashback voiceover of The Rock giving it to her saying, "You take care of this, Rumpel." Yes. Oh, is the golden egg fertilized or unfertilized? Oh, that's interesting. Maybe it's unfertilized the whole time, and then...
And she's sort of...
Well, no, because it's not the egg. Yours is your thing is the
seed, just a seed.
It's something different.
Yeah.
But then the egg was taken, and then we're like maybe there's an element of like, you don't understand. It needs to go back, or else everything is destroyed because the mom will be angry, and you don't want mom when she's angry. Some other little like sexist kind of thing, and then it
just how many can we sneak in?
Yeah, and then it gets into where they return the egg just in time as like a morphed like kraken claws coming out to be like I was gonna grab your earth, but instead I'll take my egg back. I'll spare you this once. But I won't clean up the mess, hence why there's still seeds everywhere.
Yep. A giant claw angrily receives the egg. Yes. The portal closes.
From Gerard Butler, right? Because it takes him and kills him
too. The egg is hard-boiled, and you shake it, and it makes no sound. This is important.
Yeah.
I think we would also have, obviously, a henchman of Guy Pearce's, like some friends, his military people. It's not Matt Damon. It's other like scientist people who would applaud when The Rock
and
then Guy Pearce would be like, "Come on, guys."
I mean, you gotta hand it to him. The guy really likes his daughter, right? Says the henchman, and then it's like, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's.
This has become quite the Rockbuster. I mean, guys, Sean, amazing. And Zachary Bailey coming into the stream just now is an absolute fever dream. I'm sorry.
For sure.
You're welcome.
For sure. Wait. Okay. Sorry. So one important detail that I think we've left out is The Rock and Gerard Butler bond, and then immediately
Yeah.
we get an egg heist, right?
Oh yes.
That's
Did it just become a sci-fi heist, Jack? We were
That's
so
the
close.
that's what I'm saying.
It's an alien heist.
It's an
isn't
alien
it?
heist.
God
That's
damn
the
it.
start of Act 3. Like the launch of Act 3 before monster Guy Pearce shows up to fuck everything up.
Yeah.
Is they have to break into the Pentagon and steal back the egg.
And here's how they break in: is that obviously the monster has like the brute strength and stuff.
Yeah.
But The Rock has such a knowledge of agriculture that that's somehow utilized.
Yeah,
Like, he just
yeah.
knows like water flow systems. He knows like where like he's got that like sixth sense for where like wells should be dug. He's got that kind of vibe, you know?
Yeah.
So it's somehow like using agriculture to sneak into the Pentagon. Because their sprinkler system
Yeah,
no
yeah,
one
yeah.
thinks to,
It's
like,
their
hack
irrigation.
sprinkler system. They hacked the sprinkler system of the Pentagon to get into its most secret area.
Yeah, and to understand the Pentagon's irrigation system, they break in by hacking it. They use a discarded government ID
Yeah.
to gain like access somewhere important at the end.
Yeah.
Where did they get that government ID? Whoopi was a mailman.
Yes. Yes. Obviously, at the Pentagon.
Yeah.
She had a mail.
No, my implication, sorry, just to be clear, my implication is that all government employees, TSA, mailmen,
We can't, yeah, that checks out. That's movie logic, you know? Come on.
yeah, well, you just need to prove that you work for the government. Well,
This is getting confusing in exactly the same way a sequel baiting film does. Yep.
Yeah,
Again, we're building the world.
it's falling
We're
apart
full,
by now.
We're full like dark universe.
Yeah.
Like now. With
Keep
the
in
mummies and
mind,
stuff.
the director got replaced in the middle, so that whole fucking setup with Whoopi's death would have been so much richer, would have made so much more
Yes,
sense.
exactly. This is
Don't they need a heist crew? That's true. Who else jumps in at this point that we set up
Matt
earlier?
Damon. Matt Damon was the guy that was like, "Are you sure you're gonna do this?" And then
Yeah.
he pops in and turns a blind eye.
Matt Damon turns a blind eye.
In the first,
I think what we need, here's what we need. Thank you, Chris Karras. I think we need, so the Rock's knowledge of the Pentagon's irrigation system, aided by all the farmers from his hometown.
yes.
Everybody,
farmer heist.
everybody from that opening meeting, we get a full farmer heist.
It's the equivalent of like The Rock doing. He's like, I gotta get my family in on this one for
Yeah,
Hobbs
yeah,
and
yeah.
Shaw, and it's like we're not using guns. We're
using farmer knowledge.
Farmer knowledge. Oh man. And farmer shit could be really intense too. Like, wasn't the whole weapon used in No Country for Old Men like a cattle like
Yeah,
killer?
yeah,
thing? Like,
yeah,
There's some
yeah.
like real farmer stuff that could be going on. Don't forget their good friend Jack Black.
Okay, great.
Yeah, he pops in. He was.
He's
yeah,
one of- he can be
he's
one
a
of the
cameo.
farmers in the beginning.
I also feel like there might have been a plant at one of the Guy Pearce speaking things at the Pentagon where there's someone like in a joking way is like a PA or like someone that works the grounds over
Yeah.
there is like, man, that guy, that guy mows the lawn. Who mows the lawns is really quick. Like,
Oh,
some
yeah,
quick
yeah.
Thing. And then in this one, it pays off because it was Tom Cruise all along as the like groundskeeper of the Pentagon who's so fast. And then we get Tom Cruise running.
Yep.
Like, we can't get this key card to the door in time. I'll take it. And then he just sprints.
Yep.
So our third act is like,
I think it would
like,
also be
servicing the audience.
I think it would also be important that something about the land, like the way the Pentagon was built and the land it was built on, like what this was before in Virginia. Well, it used to be a cornfield. And so what they don't realize is that there are like troughs built under the Pentagon that we're allowed, that farmer knowledge is unlocking for them.
Yeah. I also want to say the shape offers something like it's a pentagon. Like some moment of like obviously it being a pentagon.
Yeah,
serves us in
yeah.
some way for the sake of agricultural help. Was there a line in an outline that needed to be popped in? I feel like there was a line of dialogue that we had in here somewhere that someone wrote that needed to be in there.
I mean, some important details. Friendship. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, the farmer's coming through. Oh, yeah, and then the friggin' monster and our guy. Synth music. People were talking about John Williams being a potential, which I think is maybe too elevated for this movie. I don't think John would be.
Yeah, too big.
But also, I mean, maybe you get someone that's like, you get the electronica, like the hottest electronica composer in the moment, and have them do their first movie with this one. This is you got M83 to do your soundtrack. Kind of thing.
I'd like to add to the beginning here that like narration about sudden large fruits revealed to be farmer just talking to his what? You know what I mean? Just talking to his pig.
He's talking to his pig.
Trying to comfort it. You know what I mean? It's that scene. It's like, and then suddenly there were giant strawberries as far as the eye could see. But don't worry, Bessie.
Can we do it? Can we get a personal touch? Because now that we're kind of like the writers on this.
Yep.
My Uncle Ted had a pet chicken that he loved, and he was a farmer. He loved his chicken.
A farmer just talking to Chris's Uncle Ted's pet chicken.
Yep, that's cool. The casting. Yep.
That's our narration that turns out to be kind of a nothing reveal. Other important stuff.
Thank you for the burger, Smiley Kyle.
Thank you, Smiley Kyle. We sincerely might go eat a burger right after this is done. I'd be excited. Too much gore one time. Amazing shots of food. I mean, that's this whole movie.
Oh,
we've got
yes, that is what it's all built
lots
around.
Of
we have the one thing of
shots
too much
of
gore
food.
in the action sequence where he like kills Whoopi. He kills the monster.
We've got
destroys
that.
The monster.
We've got bad guy killed after witty one-liner. I think that's an important thing for us to hit here, Chris.
Yes, it's a food pun. It's some
what
sort of
does what does Guy
we
Pearce?
Have pomegranate that maybe he says in some way.
Nay pomegranate.
And who said this is The Rock saying it to?
It could be The Rock saying it to Guy Pearce. It could be Guy
Gerard
Pearce
Butler.
saying it as he dies. I think he needs. So if his whole theme is about like ending world hunger, I mean, The Rock could say like. It could just be like, eat this. Like,
this is good. Food waste is something like, waste not.
Oh, yeah, no, that's it. Guy Pearce's whole thing is about anti-food waste, and The Rock would say, like...
Better eat up.
Nobody likes to be wasted.
Yes.
The only thing getting wasted around here... Only one thing's getting wasted today.
Eat this.
Yeah, only one thing, and it doesn't really track.
No, it doesn't track.
It doesn't really add up well.
We got both,
only
yes.
one thing's getting wasted today.
Eat this.
Eat this.
At one point, there needs to be some cheesy explosions that get shown at least 3 times, all from different angles. That's this moment.
That's this
That's
for sure.
This. Yeah.
This happens.
Yeah.
Before this.
Great. Why didn't the government purge the lost ID from their system?
Well, she just died.
Oh, because, she was still technically in their system.
She was still working.
She was still,
Yeah.
She was still an employee. But also in all of the chaos and the lightning strikes really messed with their hard drives.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. What else we got? What else do we need to infuse? I feel like we've gotten most all of it, right? Tom Cruise running, obviously. Mentor dies. Yep.
We kind of have robots in the skies.
Helicopters, for sure.
We don't have a great outdated meme, but that's tough to fit in an outline.
Well, by the time the movie comes out, someone said Doge, which I could see being like, someone saying like,
oh, yeah.
would you buy this with Dogecoin? And then it just being like, it's a little, little late, wasn't it?
I wanted unconventional travel. I wanted them to have to travel somewhere by unconventional means.
Well, someone said frozen fruit going across the ocean, but I'm wondering like crossing a lake in like a fruit boat.
Yeah,
A banana boat?
Maybe they have to ascend. Maybe the like beanstalk's all fucked up, so they have to ascend in some sort of like hot air balloon made out of like a shelled blueberry, giant. Like it's a giant
Yes, right.
blueberry skin.
Right. I'm gonna say all of our additions in the last 20 minutes have really like landed this in a place of really grounded reality. I think. A blueberry hot air balloon, a hot air balloon.
Yep.
Does that work?
Yep. Hot air balloon.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if all of this totally is making sense together. I think this is good.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
we're pretty good. Do we want to read it together? Do we want to? Should we do a final reading of the outline? We'll blitz through the outline.
Let's blitz through the outline and then know that some of the outline probably is like shuffled slightly out. But I feel like we
Right.
got our final read of the outline. But before we do so, thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
What a roller coaster ride this has been in seeing not only a creative process that we've all been like in the trenches on together, but also just hanging.
Just hanging.
I hope this has been fun. I've enjoyed it thoroughly.
I've had a great time. I'll do a little teaser. Our after party. In our after party, we're gonna doodle the. We're gonna try and make the poster of this movie.
In MS Paint.
What I have open right here is MS Paint, and I can't even see where the window is. What is it?
We're
Where
gonna
is
figure it out.
We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
But we've got MS Paint open, and we're gonna doodle. We're gonna try and draw the
Also,
poster.
we fully encourage if anyone feels
you
inclined
would like to draw the
make
poster,
tweet at us with your poster submission.
Please do. Smiley Kyle, you're great.
I think Smiley Kyle, a number of people I think have funded single-handedly a sketch today, which
Yes.
is incredible. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you,
And,
Sakis
and we're not, and
Bangarang.
truly,
Thank
it
you,
is
Andrew.
all directly funding the next batch of sketches, which we are excited to announce that we are shooting again.
Yes.
we're
Bringing it back.
back into it. So all of this now is churning and burning into defibrillating and making this stuff happen. But hopefully, let us know if you like these monthly live streams. This is fun for us. If you have ideas of what you'd like to see us do on these, shoot us a message. Maybe reply in the community post that we posted today of this or of this live stream. Mention if you want anything specific for us to do in these. But for now,
Let's give this a read, knowing we're gonna probably need to fill in some things around it as we read it out loud. 'Cause
For
it's
sure.
Probably not. We didn't read it along as we were going.
Yeah.
So here's our outline, and we need to land on the title by the end. So far, agriculture.
agriculture is feeling
Agriculture.
good.
I do think
Agroculture was also on the
agriculture.
table.
I think if it is supposed to be the launch of this modern fairy tale universe, I think this would be called like either The Beanstalk or this is my actual pitch because it's about things that have gotten over enlarged and it's a modernization of Jack and the Beanstalk. I think this movie is called Jacked.
How is it spelled? How is it spelled? It's not like with an apostrophe at all, right? It's,
JACK''D.
yeah.
That's pretty solid.
Is our main
Biggs Ramirez, our Jim.
characters-
Yeah,
Jack?
The Rock is called Jack.
Yeah, okay. And yes, that is exactly how much it costs to make a sketch for us. So
With the
that includes
exchange rate, for
yeah,
sure.
exactly. And then we pay sound and production and everything and jacked. And then in a way, it's also like it's our way of putting our stamp on the movie.
Yeah.
Too. That like we'll find some way to get Chris weaved in at some point, like just for our branding. But I
Oh,
like
for
that,
sure.
I like that Jacked is the name of the movie, and then like you notice if you like look at the poster, like there's faint faded text that says Chris and.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. And it's about friendship.
Beautiful.
The perfect outline. Well, without further ado,
Okay, here we go.
this is Chris and Jacked.
Setup. We're opening with the narration about the sudden large fruits that appear to be popping up all over the farmland in Georgia. Give me that opening again that you already described.
It's that element of like we're showing the world. We're probably doing also like a cross dissolve of like the logo of the, like if it's Universal, it's like the Universal logo fades to a strawberry. Some sort of quick metaphor of like the world is fruit. And then it's about like we're all, if you really think about it, we're all part of the same like natural thing.
Beautiful.
And then we fade to the strawberry and it's like a small one, it's picked.
Yeah, we got to get the theme out in this opening narration. So like it is about like you feed the whole world.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's and then we're like tracking the like different small strawberries farmers are picking, and then the farmer suddenly is like bumps and then like looks up. We're on the farmer looking, and like, what is the farmer realizing? And we're like, oh my gosh, is it a giant monster? Like, what's gonna happen? And then we cut to our wide in the field as it's just like a person to scale. Yeah. Also, a human body is showing the scale of this thing.
Huge strawberry.
Biggest strawberry you've ever seen in your life.
It was the biggest strawberry I ever seen in my life. Cut to, he's talking to his little chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
So the fruit's popping up all across the farmland in Georgia. They have an emergency meeting about it among all the farmers.
What's going on out here?
The Rock's at the meeting. He goes to some kind of farmers meeting.
The Rock also has a British accent.
He's got a bad British accent. Yeah. He's ex-international military. He was part of a covert op that was scarred him so bad. We don't know that much. We're just like, oh, what's going on?
Flashback
Friend died in the past. Is closing report. We get a little glimpse of somebody who's over interested in this meeting. It's Guy Pearce. He's in glasses. He's just curious what's going on in this little town.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. But he's like a little too put together, like too much of a city slicker.
Doesn't feel like he belongs, but he's likable. He's trying to fit in.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm curious what
it's
might
not
be going
his,
on out here.
It's not his thing.
I've heard of your problems,
yeah.
and I actually
he's doing a terrible American accent, as The Rock does a terrible British accent.
Guy Pearce, maybe Guy Pearce and The Rock, I'm just going to say they do know each other a little bit. So The Rock, that's what triggers some of his
Yeah. We get a flashback of some fucked up military sci-fi stuff. The Rock, his friend, he's reaching. We see like The Rock's giant arm like reaching out to grab somebody and missing. We see a portal. We see the like leafy appendages of a large stalk of some kind.
But I feel like the appendages of the stalk are like light beams
nanotech.
It's like,
leaves.
It's much more like sci-fi looking. It's a metaphor.
Catalyst, The Rock gets the info he needs.
Which we never really identified. It meant that like he knows something that other people don't, as like that's what's causing
that's what this
big.
is, right. So what happens overnight is we see one of the strawberries, they have this meeting, they're already concerned about the strawberries, and then the big reveal is one of the strawberries has a giant fucking bite taken out of it.
Monster on the loose.
There's a monster on the loose.
He knows that like Rock is like something's up. I need to contact my old contacts that are the powers that be to let them know what's going on.
So The Rock is reaching out to a friend who still works at the Pentagon. Michael Pena, of course. We get glimpses of Project Beanstalk. We hear the word quantum. Fortunate Son plays.
In the flashback, we're getting some sense of them like, the bravado of the international team, even though they're international, still playing Fortunate Son.
Yeah.
And they're all part of the mission that is thrown together by the bioengineering and nanoscientific technology and logic quantum state, Beanstalk's team.
So we're getting all this info. We're hoping to stay chill, but oh no, the monster appears, stumbling for food. We're just getting legs.
Thank you, Mitch, by the way. We've been having a blast. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
And you will be seeing this on a big screen near you very soon.
The monster, we get legs, we get glimpses, we get whatever just ate that strawberry is on the friggin' rampage in rural Georgia.
No one's listening to The Rock. Who's listening to The Rock? It doesn't matter anymore. What matters is family, Jack.
Yeah.
And the way you gotta, and Rock's like, well, fuck it. I gotta go save my ex-wife, my estranged daughter, and maybe my stepmother, my ex-stepmother, but I'm more thinking my ex-wife.
Yeah.
But you know what? The Rock is like, how am I going to do this? Well, let me just undo this lock in the back, busts open. He's got a souped up tractor. Okay, he's driving a souped up tractor.
I said Ford F-150, but I like.
Yeah, he's got a souped up tractor.
Souped up tractor.
Yeah. And then now he pops it off. He's in his souped up tractor driving to Atlanta.
Realizes he just missed Janelle and the daughter, who's going to be a big star in like 10 years. You're going to be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy
Wow,
shit, that
she
was
was in
her.
that?
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Also, on the way, he gets a second flashback, more context of the mission. We're getting that sense of like Gerard Butler is involved in this. There was some sort of big thing that went down. It's like, oh, there's something harboring darkness behind his eyes.
the monster is on the rampage. We see it pop up at Augusta.
Someone's putting. There's a giant hole that suddenly happens from a footstep, and then the guy looks up to the ref.
You gotta play around it.
And we get a little little joke there.
It was Bryson DeChambeau, who's the studio's idea of who the most famous golfer at the moment was. It was DeChambeau. We get a glimpse of where are Janelle Monáe and the daughter. The Rock's talking about him. Whoopi's like, they got evacuated. I was trying to get there. I couldn't get there in time.
I was on my mail route.
Yeah, I was on my mail route. Like, nothing was going to stop me. Neither rain,
nor
sleet, nor shine, nor
monster.
monster.
Yeah. Nor shine.
That's not it.
Not too bright for me.
It's not. I can handle the glare on my windshield. She's on this Navy evacuation ship, and she runs into an old colleague of The Rock's, who she remembers. It's Rachel House with a fucked up sci-fi burn.
Yeah, it's one of those cool sci-fi burns, a fractal burn.
The monster has made its way all the way to the Washington Monument and is picking its teeth.
Because it tried to hang out at the Pentagon. You created me, and then they're like starting to shoot at it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And now we've revealed the monster picking its tooth. But the monster to us looks fucked up and crazy.
We can't get a good glimpse of it.
But The Rock
It's just
hasn't
like we
seen
see
it
this
yet.
from a side. Yeah.
So we
Rock
don't know.
hasn't seen
We
it.
think it's just General Monster, right?
Yeah.
And not General Monster.
No.
Generic Monster.
More
But that'll
like
be a
Major
reveal.
Monster.
Major Monster, that he was Major. Gerard Butler was Major Gerard Butler.
We're at the midpoint. We finally get a clear glimpse of the flashback. So far, we've gotten like weird PTSD dreams type of things, and now we
Gerard
finally
Butler
get a good.
is in the zone of like you have to. We gotta close it. We gotta close it. The only way to do it is you gotta cut me loose. And then The Rock, does he ask to be cut loose, or The Rock cuts him loose? He doesn't get asked.
No, I think he does.
No,
I think
he
Gerard
does it
Butler
for the
doesn't
mission.
seem on. He's like, no, wait, and The Rock is like, love you, brother. Bonk. Or like,
mission
sorry,
first.
the mission first. We gotta get that egg slice.
Yes. Then. Right. So then now finally after that third flashback we get a full context. Just at
Rock
that moment he peels in
In
with
his
his like
souped-up
souped-up
trailer,
tractor.
sponsored by Ford still.
Yes.
He drives through the legs and
looks
looks
up
back
and
and
I
sees.
recognize those thighs. I recognize those hips. I recognize that Gerard Butler.
And he kind of knew, right? It's that moment of like, yep. Like, we're not going to ask The Rock to do too much.
No, right.
So he gets to just go like,
but more British.
oh, I knew it.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank
That's
you.
what The Rock would do, yeah. I also, Mitch, can't wait to see the Beanstalks Corporation on a billboard. This is important.
Yeah. Okay, so he's realized
Oh,
that
the F-bomb, not rain, not sleet, not no motherfucking
not no
monster.
motherfucking monster.
Yeah, she dies.
She would crush it.
Yep.
Act 2, after the big midpoint, we're still in Act 2. We start to get to learn more about Gerard Butler.
Because he runs off, they had this weird moment, and then he's now with Whoopi, and Whoopi's like, what was that all about? You know him? And
Yeah.
then he's like, we were on a mission together. Sarah, stuff like that.
Oh, this is good too, because we don't have enough Janelle Monáe. So like in the flashback, it's like them on like a double date, and it's like we get to see The Rock and Janelle Monáe when they were like happy together.
CGI,
We're gonna root for it
retroactive,
later.
like
Oh yeah,
younger.
he's so young.
Yeah,
He's got
yeah, yeah.
so much hair.
Yeah.
And we know what The Rock looked like at 20. He was already famous. Nothing like this.
No, exactly.
So we see them together. We see Sarah, played by Elton John, they break up, and she screams at Gerard Butler, "You're a monster."
Yes.
Uh,
Then it's he realizes I need to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
And then he goes over to the monster in hopes of having a confrontation. There might be a big set piece that we didn't have between these moments. Let's say there's a helicopter chase. Then he's
do
in a
think we
helicopter
need-
to talk to him.
He's in a helicopter to talk to him, and I think Guy Pearce is like... I think, by the way, Guy Pearce needs to be with... This is, sorry to go backfill here, but Guy Pearce is with The Rock for a lot of this, I think. I think it's important that, like, he's the one saying, like, yeah, we need to figure this out so that we can, like, save
you
the
follow
world
that
and whatever.
Thing, but yes,
and, like,
I'm with you. then Rock is hanging out of a helicopter being like, Gerard, you have to listen to me. Don't do this. And then it's suddenly this thing of like them connecting.
It's that amount of American accent.
Yes,
You're nailing it.
and then it's this like connection that then in that sequence, it's the "you made me" stuff. It's that we realize that they're friends, and then that's where our big twist, our big reveal comes for mech suit. Guy Pearce comes in to shoot him, and The Rock's like, "No, I was getting through to him. I was getting through to him.
We were bonding. We were bonding."
And then Whoopi is down on the ground being like, "What's going on?" And then at that point, mech suit spray.
She, I think, should be doing something slightly heroic. So she's like
Trying to stop him.
trying to stop him. Yeah.
Trying to stop him. And then
This movie's fucking great.
unfortunately, she gets hit. Mech suit runs off.
Yeah.
We have our last little moment, kind of an "oh fuck" moment. She dies. And Gerard witnessed the whole thing. Monster witnessed the whole thing. It's a moment of like consolation where then The Rock apologizes to the monster forgives The Rock. They clasp hands, and it's suddenly like, we got to go to the Pentagon.
We got to go
take
fight
him
Guy
down.
Pearce.
And then the monster's like, but how do we get in? I tried earlier. And then he's like, but did you try agriculture?
Did you try agriculture? All right, time for Act 3.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, Liam's point. Guys, major timeline continuity errors. The Masters are in April, but Strawberry Season runs from May to June, so basically you need to rewrite the entire movie now. Sorry. No, Liam, we forgot to mention this, but part of what's so weird about the strawberries aren't just that they're big, but that they're
out of
early.
season.
They're out of season. How are they growing so big? They should just be little green buds by now. How are they huge 9-foot-tall strawberries?
And at the farmer's meeting, the guy that's holding all of his strawberries, not The Rock, is just like, listen, I'm not complaining. I'm just a little confused.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah. And the grocery store owner, the local grocery store owner, is there too. He says verbatim the same thing. He's like, listen, I'm not complaining.
Hey, I'll take it. Okay, so it's Act 3. Matt Damon. Why is Matt Damon here?
He was administering the shot.
He
he's
administers the
administering
shot. Hey, Guy Pearce, you sure you want to do this?
You sure you want to do your job? Says Guy Pearce.
You sure you want to risk your job? Not to punch
That's
you
good.
up.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's a yes. Yeah, you got to punch it up. You want to risk your job?
You sure you want to do this? You sure you want to risk your job?
Sorry. Yeah, great.
Dylan and Liquid Lathe, you are late. Hi, thank you. Hello.
But honestly,
but you come at the perfect time.
A lot longer than we anticipated. This is great. You're in the full fever dream portion, as was outlined earlier.
Okay, it's time for the egg heist.
Yes.
We've got the location of the egg because Janelle calls it in after consulting with Rachel House and her burned face.
Mm-hmm.
She
A fractal burn. Love
fractal
that,
burn.
that title.
Beautiful.
What a name.
And it's the beautiful tree pattern.
Yeah.
And she got it from the tree, the beanstalk, and that's what's so beautiful
yeah.
about it all. So they're going to break back into the Pentagon to steal the egg. The Rock's knowledge of where wells should be allows him to understand the Pentagon's irrigation system. He's aided by all the farmers in his hometown.
Who were at that agriculture fest, like event.
And even the guy with his chickens there. We get to see the chicken again because we love that chicken. The chicken is a lovable character in this movie.
And there was probably at some point at the farmer meeting at the beginning of the movie, there was a moment where two farmers were at odds just for a second of like, hey, what are you bringing your cucumbers in here?
Your giant strawberry went onto my land and it's trampling on my finger.
Then here, it's one of those like, all right,
Greg.
Mike. Yeah, exactly.
Blowing up the Pentagon.
Yeah,
I mean, this is fucking dark.
Yeah.
And also the groundskeeper.
They're not blowing it up. They're going underground. They're heisting it. They're not like spraying. Yeah, they're heisting.
The groundskeeper, played by Tom Cruise, he was also a farmer from their small town.
Yeah.
So he's suddenly willing to help.
To be fair, he was planted as the groundskeeper of the Pentagon, and someone commented like, "Oh, he's super fast." Oh, but in his backstory, he's a farmer from the small town.
Yeah,
This is his job.
I'm saying he's like from there, and he
Got
works
it.
and
Yeah,
works
okay,
the Pentagon.
yes. So he's with them, yes.
It's a long commute, but he toughs it out.
Yeah.
He runs so fast to work every day. So he runs the key card over. Oh, the key card is a discarded government ID that is used to gain important access to the room where they house the egg. Wow, who works for the government?
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg. She was a male woman. And Matt Damon's like, I'll allow it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's a little outdated, but you go ahead. I don't want to risk my
checks
job
out.
over it. He calls it back.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. That's good.
Or he says, I will risk my job over it. That's probably the further connection, right? That's why he's letting him through.
Either it's a sarcastic like, "Hey man, I'm not gonna
risk
fight
my
you. I'm not
job
gonna risk
over
my-"
it. Yeah.
Either way works.
Right.
So they've stolen the egg. Now they build a hot air balloon out of a blueberry, and they
course.
ascend to the wormhole in a hot air balloon. Gerard is ready to make the final sacrifice. He cuts the rope of the hot air balloon and like
Rides it
disengages it and rides it up.
Yeah, but there's a parallel moment between the two of them of like The Rock being like, "You don't have to do this. I have to for the mission." You know, some little parallel there.
Beautiful.
Yep.
This comes in a second.
Yeah.
So then they're fighting. Monster guy Pierce finally shows up. We haven't seen him yet. He finally shows up. He's a giant, terrible, deformed guy Pierce. That one eye is way too big.
Yep.
And he's ready to fight, and he's gonna save the egg because he thinks like, this is the only way to feed the whole world, and also I will be the king.
Yes.
So The Rock, it's like, hey man, chill out. Okay,
Dude,
chill out.
But in a British accent.
Hey, chill out.
Good.
Why don't you just eat this pomegranate?
I guess I shouldn't have
Okay.
any food with. Okay.
But I don't believe in food waste, so I will eat this giant pomegranate.
Yeah, exactly.
Now that I'm a monster. And then The Rock says, you shouldn't be worried about food waste. Only one thing's getting wasted today. Eat this. Boom. And it was a pomegranate.
Yes.
Or alt pitch, it was a cherry bomb. It explodes. Also, Gerard Butler dies.
Well, we kind of shuffled it a little bit here,
Yeah.
where it was like, oh, maybe Gerard Butler. I thought maybe it was like ascending into the portal was like a post.
Yes, so
defeating
The Rock
monster.
is holding Guy Pearce at bay while Gerard Butler makes the final
Yes.
ascent
It's like gotta get there.
return the egg.
Yes.
He returns the egg as a giant claw
Pitch,
is like
real
yep.
quick, just sorry, in the action moment, it's this thing of like, will Guy Pearce stop the monster? And then he eats the pomegranate. He explodes. We go slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
He explodes. The Rock is like holding on to this hot air balloon berry,
Yep.
blueberry.
Blue Loon.
This explosion sends the Rock flying upwards, right? But so he's on the edge of this like heat wave of like the explosion, but he's slowly getting closer to Gerard. Gerard is about to go into the portal, and we get just a moment that at the apex of the Rock's explosion ride, he's just here for a second.
Yeah,
But they're
they're
right
eye to eye.
again, and then there's this little nod to each other as then he falls back down, and then he goes into the portal. Right?
I mean,
Come on.
beautiful. That's it.
That's
The Rock lands,
Yeah,
settles.
he lands on his feet, by the way.
He and Janelle, we
somehow
didn't write
lands on
this,
his
but like
feet,
he and
right.
Janelle Monáe there's a big reconnection.
Yeah.
They reconnect. There's a kiss.
And then it's one of these things
Because
of
we
like,
didn't earn that at all. We didn't
no,
earn
no.
that at all. They haven't been around each other. We know they got a divorce for good reasons.
Yeah. And then at the end, there's probably a moment where it's like a little like palate cleanse of the tone, where it's like all that stuff happened. They have their little kiss, and then she's like, "Want to get some burgers?" And he's like, "I'm not hungry." It's a food kind of thing.
I want to get some burgers. I'm not hungry.
Theme.
End credits.
Yes, but we're lingering for the like 17 minutes of credits. A lot of CGI.
Yep.
A lot of visual effects artists.
Choo 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 choo.
Yeah.
We're back at the
Credits have
Rock's
a Rage
farm.
Against the Machine song for sure.
Oh yeah! Get the burger!
yeah.
We're on the Rock's farm. Rock and Janelle are connecting.
Is
They're
this a-
remembering Whoopi. There's a beautiful.
Was the voiceover at the beginning later in the world where he's like, I remember a day when there was a large strawberry? Or was that a modern voiceover at the beginning when he's petting the chicken?
Yeah, that was justified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, we never earned the romantic development
Yeah.
at all. So they're connecting. They're sipping Coronas on the porch of his farm. Janelle, their daughter, runs out into the field, and she finds a giant.
The field is
strawberry
dry, by the
seed.
way, because he
It's
wasn't
dry.
around to water it.
It's
so
dry.
This is really dry.
It's all
and airy.
straw.
Yeah.
She finds a giant strawberry seed. She picks it up, and the seed somehow seems to recognize her.
Oh my gosh, what is this? Maybe even like a facial scan. I don't know.
Oh, I like
that.
that.
Sort of little that, yeah.
The seed glows, and she receives the power to weave things into gold. It starts to happen around her, and she is Rumpelstiltskin.
And before that, The Rock said like something like, we're gonna have to redo the crops. There's no way I'm gonna turn this into a cash crop. And then she turns it into gold. And then it's suddenly like, boom, Universal logo. And then we call it like the Fairy Tale Universe. Yeah, I'm gonna turn this into cash crop. Yeah. The Fairy Tale, and Universe is spelled Youniverse to tie it to our canon as well. The Fairy Tale Universe will return. Yes.
I'm giving us a lot of time to make
Yes,
this. There's
exactly,
a ton of CGI.
Exactly. Guys, what a journey that was. And one that we'll return to again and again for the sake of it actually happening and it getting made one day.
Yeah. We'll write this full thing.
Yeah. We're going to share this doc with you in our Patreon just for your own reference at some point, but I'm sure we've really dove into this. But I feel like we really set up a lot. Good work.
Yes, good work. I think that was great.
There were some great moments. There was a lot of joy to be had, and you guys brought it. The fact that like fractal burns were a thing I just learned about today. I learned about pomegranate etymology. Thank you, Frugan.
Thank you, Frugan. Thank you, Chris Karras. Ramirez Art Jam. Fairy Universe, Cinematic Universe. Fuck you. Perfect.
That's perfect.
Incredible.
Oh gosh.
So we're gonna log off now, and in like 10 minutes we're gonna pop on to a Patreon live stream where we're gonna draw the poster for this in Mac Paintbrush, which is Mac's ripoff of MS Paint. We'll draw the poster and we'll hang out, and it's obviously going to be a smaller group, so you can hang out, you can ask us any questions you want. Come hang out if you want, no pressure. We love y'all. Thank you for your support. This was a great time.
This was awesome. So again, reiterating all of the Jack things, I won't say them again, but I feel them, okay? And then I just for those that will be joining us the next one, give us 10. And then we'll pop back on. Sorry, it's been a little later than we said.
Yeah, we'll say
But,
what, 9, 10.
9:10.
9:10.
We'll be back.
And we did. We learned about strawberry in-season patterns. Thank you,
This
Liam,
is-
for bestowing the knowledge.
We learned so much today.
Thank y'all. This has been a blast, and we'll see you with something next month. Hey, guess what? It will probably be related to July 6th.
I may have spoiled that when you.
Oh, did you? Yeah, we'll do it July 6th.
There and start planning, guys. It's July 6th park party time. You know.
You know.
We love you guys.
Thank you so much. We'll see you in Patreon, or we'll see you next month. Either way, we love you.